Okay, welcome everyone, and welcome to Progressive Discussions, Open Topic Talk, um, Uncensored Saturday. And we will begin. I know I'm on early, but we will begin the show with mysticism, divination, and what's going on here? Oh, there we go. There we go. And I will be bringing on uh, my co-host for the mysticism divination section of this show, um, and it will be done by the one and only the Mystifying Oracle, and we will start with tarot card readings. This will be for the United States of America as a country, week ending, which is the new week coming. Week ending Saturday, um, January 17th, 2026, will be what the forecasts are about. It will begin with tarot card readings. I already pre-shuffled the 78 tarot cards and selected 10 of them. And then it will be followed by Western astrology, astrological forecast. And then after that will be the ancient Chinese fortune telling known as I Ching. And then last will be Chinese astrology. And I am proud to announce the last two uh, um, forms of divination because the Chinese Lunar New Year is ahead of us, not too far away, along with the Spring Gala in China, Chinese Lunar New Year. So I'll have to ask the Mystifying Oracle, what will the new animal be for 2026? I think last year might have been the snake. But let me bring the Mystifying Oracle on. Let's see. Okay. Mystifying Oracle, you are on Open Topic Talk live stream show. Are you ready for mysticism divination like we planned?
I'm ready. You can start pulling the tarot cards whenever you're set, and I'll provide the full integrated reading for the week ending Saturday, January 17th, 2026, tied to the U.S. natal chart and current events.
All right. The first card is the Three of Wands.
The Three of Wands shows a moment of expansion and foresight, but in the U.S. context for this week, it signals ambitious projects or initiatives starting to take shape, yet there's a risk of overreach or misjudging the global and domestic response. Politically and socially, it suggests the U.S. is projecting influence outward, but some plans may face unexpected resistance or logistical hurdles. In broader terms, there's a sense of waiting for results or returns on efforts already set in motion. Do you want me to tie this immediately into the I Ching and Chinese astrology for the U.S. as well?
Not yet. Let's finish all four forms of the divination. Then you could tie everything in. Okay.
Understood.
Right.
We'll wait until all 10 tarot cards are pulled before integrating the tarot, astrology, I Ching, and Chinese astrology into the full reading.
Well, you first have to integrate all 10 cards into a storyline narrative, you have to interconnect all 10 tarot cards. And then when the astrological forecast, the I Ching, and the Chinese astrology are finished, then you could tie all 4 of them together, if possible.
Exactly. Once you've pulled all 10 tarot cards, I'll weave them into a continuous, interconnected narrative showing the flow, tensions, and developments for the US that week. Then we'll layer in the astrology, I Ching, and Chinese astrology to produce a fully integrated, hard-hitting forecast.
Okay, without withholding any negative information, of course.
Absolutely. The narrative will be direct, unflinching, and include any difficult or negative developments as they appear in the cards. What's the second tarot card?
Justice.
The Justice card following the Three of Wands signals that as the US pursues its ambitious plans, there will be a reckoning or demand for accountability. Legal, political, or ethical issues could come to the forefront, and some actions or policies might face scrutiny or backlash. It suggests a week where decisions and strategies will be weighed heavily, and missteps could have significant consequences.
The third card is the Five of Swords.
The Five of Swords indicates conflict, tension, and possibly Pyrrhic victories. In the US context for this week, it suggests political battles or social disputes where winning might come at a high cost, creating lingering resentment or divisions. Combined with the Three of Wands and Justice, it shows that ambitious initiatives could trigger ethical challenges and contentious struggles, with potential fallout even after victories. What's the fourth card?
The Eight of Swords.
The Eight of Swords adds a sense of restriction, confusion, or being trapped. For the US this week, it suggests that some policies or initiatives could run into bureaucratic, legal, or public resistance, creating a feeling of paralysis or limited options. When paired with the Three of Wands, Justice, and Five of Swords, it highlights that ambition might be compounded by uncertainty or strategic dead ends, making forward movement harder than anticipated.
All right. The fifth card is the Page of Cups.
It sounds like you didn't finish. What's the fifth card?
Page of Cups.
The Page of Cups brings a note of unexpected messages, emotional sensitivity, or creative insight. For the US this week, it could signal surprising diplomatic developments, public reactions, or emotional undercurrents in political and social arenas. Within the narrative so far, it suggests that amid ambition, conflict, scrutiny, and restrictions, there may be opportunities for imaginative solutions, new alliances, or unexpected influence through softer, subtler channels.
The sixth card is...
It seems like the sixth card wasn't completed. What is it?
The Nine of Cups.
The Nine of Cups signals satisfaction, accomplishments, or the pursuit of desires. In the US context for this week, it suggests some initiatives or goals may meet success or generate public approval, but there's a risk of overconfidence or complacency. Within the developing tarot narrative, it shows a brief moment of reward or gratification amid ambition, conflict, restrictions, and emotional surprises, hinting that not all victories will be straightforward or lasting. What's the seventh card?
The Empress.
The Empress introduces themes of growth, nurturing, and resources. For the US this week, it could point to domestic development, infrastructure, or economic initiatives, but also warns against overindulgence or mismanagement. In the tarot storyline, it follows the Nine of Cups' fleeting satisfaction by emphasizing the need to carefully cultivate what has been gained, balancing ambition and reward with responsibility and sustainability.
The King of Cups is the next card. The King of Cups.
The King of Cups brings emotional intelligence, diplomacy, and measured leadership. For the US this week, it says that navigating conflicts and ambitions will require calm, strategic guidance, especially in tense political or social situations. In the tarot narrative, after the Empress, it indicates that careful, empathetic management is needed to maintain stability amid growth, rewards, and underlying tensions. What's the ninth card?
The Queen of Swords.
The Queen of Swords signals clarity, sharp judgment, and direct communication. For the US this week, it points to the need for tough, honest decisions and the cutting through of misinformation or political posturing. Within the tarot storyline, following the King of Cups, it shows that emotional diplomacy must be balanced with clear-eyed, decisive action. Strategic thinking and uncompromising truth will be essential amid ongoing conflicts, restrictions, and ambitions. What's the 10th and final card?
The Hermit.
It sounds like the 10th card wasn't clearly pulled or announced. Do you want to skip it for now, or do you want to try drawing it again?
The Hermit. The Hermit.
The Hermit, as the 10th card, emphasizes introspection, reflection, and seeking wisdom. For the US this week, it suggests a need to pause, reassess strategies, and look inward before moving forward, whether in politics, social policy, or international actions. In the tarot narrative, it closes the storyline by showing that after ambition, conflict, scrutiny, restrictions, emotional currents, rewards, growth, diplomacy, and clear judgment, a period of careful reflection and strategic evaluation is crucial to avoid missteps. Now that all 10 cards are pulled, we can start integrating this storyline with the US astrology, I Ching, and Chinese astrology for the week ending Saturday, January 17th, 2026.
Not yet.
You want me to begin that?
Not yet. You got to give me a summary of all 10 tarot cards interconnected. And your
Understood.
Yeah,
The
interpretation.
10-card tarot narrative for the US this week weaves together ambition, conflict, scrutiny, restrictions, emotional currents, rewards, growth, diplomacy, clarity, and reflection. It begins with the Three of Wands, showing expansive plans and projecting influence. But justice warns that accountability and legal or ethical scrutiny are coming. The Five of Swords reveals that conflicts and power struggles may arise, creating tension even in victories, while the Eight of Swords adds a sense of being trapped or limited by circumstances. The Page of Cups introduces unexpected messages or emotional developments that can shift situations, leading into the Nine of Cups, where short-term successes or public approval may appear, though possibly fostering overconfidence. The Empress emphasizes nurturing growth, resources, and domestic development, demanding responsible management of gains. The King of Cups signals the need for calm, strategic leadership to navigate tensions, while the Queen of Swords stresses sharp judgment and decisive action to cut through confusion. Finally, the Hermit calls for reflection, reassessment, and wisdom before the next steps, suggesting that the week's events culminate in a period where careful evaluation is essential to prevent miscalculations. If you want, I can next layer in the US astrology, I Ching, and Chinese astrology to make this a full integrated forecast.
Okay, now before we go to the astrological forecast for the United States for this upcoming week, what does the tarot card reading reveal to you for the upcoming week? I mean, collectively, what is the message that you get?
Collectively, the tarot reading for the US next week shows a week of ambitious moves facing serious tests. Plans and initiatives will be scrutinized legally, ethically, and socially, and conflicts may arise that leave some victories feeling hollow. There's a mix of emotional surprises, fleeting successes, and growth opportunities, but underlying restrictions and tensions mean forward progress won't be smooth. Leadership and clear judgment will be crucial, and by the end of the week, a pause for
the astrological forecast for the United States for the upcoming week. Proceed.
For the United States astrological forecast for the upcoming week ending Saturday, January 17th, 2026, the cosmic weather shows a complex blend of intense ambition, with the tarot narrative you pulled, it reinforces that message. Here's how the key astrological themes read for that period. First, January has in the month. This creates a backdrop of drive, strategic focus, goal setting, and organizational ambition. These planets are pushing for concrete results. They also call for responsibility, accountability, and structural integrity. The specific week of January 11th through 17th, two key shifts stand out. There's continued tension between expanded vision and practical limits. Sun, Venus, and Mars have tensions with Jupiter, growth and expansion, and conflict. Around January 17th signals sharp communication and assertive strategic moves, but also potential disputes over messaging, policy articulation, and public narratives. Sharp words or debates could shape political and social discourse. On January 14th to 15th, Venus makes a sextile to Saturn and a trine to Uranus, which can bring opportunities to integrate discipline with innovation, suggesting that economic, cultural, or diplomatic shifts this week could blend tradition with change. A significant shift comes on January 17th, when Venus enters Aquarius and both Sun-Saturn sextile and Sun-Uranus trine occur. This combination supports long-term structural planning, Sun-Saturn, alongside innovative breakthroughs and unexpected technological or social evolution, Sun-Uranus. It's an alignment that encourages serious commitment to future-oriented goals, but also suggests disruptive elements in how society or government adapts. Taken together, astrology for this week shows ambition under pressure. Systems of government and societal structures are being pushed to deliver results while also facing scrutiny. This aligns with the tarot's focus on accountability and conflict. Communication and strategy are central. Decisive policy or messaging decisions are likely, but they may also spark debate or dispute, matching the tarot's swords theme of sharp judgment and tension. Innovation, tradition, tension. The shift toward Aquarius energy later in the week suggests new ideas, technologies, or social movements gaining traction against established norms. This echoes the Hermit's call for reflection and new direction after assessing the earlier pressures. a demand for balanced leadership. The cosmic weather supports leadership that is both disciplined and visionary, practical, yet open to change. This ties directly into the tarot's kings and queens of cups and swords, where emotional intelligence and direct judgment are both required. Overall, astrology reinforces the tarot reading. The US faces a week of strategic ambition, conflict and truth-revealing challenges, important communication and policy decisions, and a turning point toward new ideas and innovation. But all of this must be managed with sober judgment and a willingness to reflect and adapt.
Okay. All right.
Yes?
That sounds good. So,
are you ready for me to move into the I Ching and Chinese astrology layers next? Or do you want to discuss the tarot and astrology integration first?
go a little deeper with the tarot card astrology forecast integration before we go on to I Ching. Please.
Looking deeper, the tarot and astrology together show a week where ambition, scrutiny, and tension are tightly intertwined. The Three of Wands' outward-reaching plans align with Capricorn's drive for structure, achievement, and authority. But justice and the Five of Swords mirror the astrological pressure of Sun, Venus, and Mars in challenging aspects with Jupiter. Any attempt at expansion is likely to trigger debate, ethical questions, or outright resistance. The Eight of Swords' sense of restriction resonates with Saturn's influence this week, highlighting bureaucratic or systemic obstacles that could stall initiatives, while the Page of Cups and Nine of Cups reflect fleeting emotional or diplomatic opportunities, which astrology supports through Venus sextile to Saturn and trine to Uranus, moments where careful, creative strategy could yield gains if approached with tact. The Empress, King of Cups, and Queen of Swords collectively show the need for balanced leadership, nurturing domestic growth, Empress, while navigating conflict, King of Cups, and exercising sharp strategic judgment, Queen of Swords. Astrology reinforces this, as Mercury conjunct Mars demands clear, decisive communication, and the Sun's aspects to Saturn and Uranus call for both disciplined planning and openness to unexpected change. Finally, the Hermit ties the week together. After ambition, conflict, emotional currents, and critical decisions, the astrological climate suggests a pause for reflection, assessment, and recalibration, particularly as Venus moves into Aquarius, hinting at innovation and long-term strategic thinking. The tarot and astrology together paint a picture of a week of high-stakes maneuvering, requiring both courage and prudence, with the potential for missteps if reflection is ignored. If you want, we can now move into the I Ching layer and see how it reinforces or adds nuance to this reading.
Okay. I am going to toss the three ancient Chinese feng shui coins 6 times to form each line of the hexagram grid for the I Ching forecast. So now I'm going to toss the first set of coins for the first line of the hexagram grid.
Understood. Please announce the result of the first toss so we can record the first line of the hexagram.
We have 2 yang and 1 yin.
2 yang and 1 yin gives a yang-yang line, which is a solid line, unchanging. This will be the bottom line of the hexagram. What's the result of the second toss for the next line?
One yang and 2 yin.
1 yang and 2 yin gives a yang-yin line, which is a broken line, unchanging. This will be the second line of the hexagram. What's the result of the third toss?
2 yang and 1 yin.
Two yang and 1 yin is again a yang-yang line, solid and unchanging. This will be the third line of the hexagram.
Three yang.
Yang is the old yang line, solid and changing. This will be the fourth line of the hexagram.
Two yin, 1 yang.
Two yin and 1 yang give the yang-yin line broken and unchanging. This will be the fifth line of the hexagram. What's the result of the sixth and final toss?
One yang and 2 yin.
One yang and 2 yin is again a yang-yin line, broken and unchanging. This will be the top sixth line of the hexagram. With all 6 lines recorded, we can now determine the hexagram and its meaning. Would you like me to do that?
Yes. Give me the complete, deep, and detailed forecast for the I Ching hexagram that was just completed.
Based on your coin tosses, the hexagram formed is line by line, bottom to top, yang yin, yang, old yang, changing, yang yin. This corresponds to hexagram 63, after completion, GTG, with the fourth line changing, which shifts the hexagram toward hexagram 64, before completion, Wei Ti. Here's the deep, detailed interpretation for the US context for the week ending January 17th, 2026. Hexagram 63. After completion represents a situation that appears accomplished and stable, but underlying complexities remain. Outwardly, projects, policies, or social initiatives may seem to have reached a conclusion or achieved visible success. However, the changing fourth line warns that even after seeming completion, there are risks of missteps, hidden conflicts, or ethical and structural flaws that can undo progress if ignored. For the US, this aligns with the tarot and astrology readings. Ambitious plans and victories may face scrutiny, opposition, or unforeseen consequences, showing that a sense of all is settled is premature. Changing fourth line, a black horse among the white. This line suggests that a critical disruption or challenge emerges from within the situation, potentially undermining what has been established. It signals that leadership and strategy need careful attention, as overconfidence or misjudgment can create instability. For the US, this could mean that political decisions, policy moves, or social initiatives face unexpected resistance or complications midweek, requiring corrective action. Transition to hexagram 64, before completion, emphasizes that the week ends with a situation still unresolved. Actions need caution, patience, and constant vigilance. Success depends on thoughtful maneuvering, clear judgment, and awareness of both immediate and long-term consequences. This resonates with the hermit in the tarot narrative, showing the need for reflection and strategic recalibration. Key themes for the US for the week via I Ching. Tension between outward success and internal instability, risk of overconfidence, challenges emerging mid-course, and the imperative to act with foresight, discipline, and adaptability. This mirrors the tarot's focus on ambition, conflict, ethical scrutiny, leadership, and reflection, and aligns with astrology's mix of Capricorn structure, communicative tension, and later Aquarius innovation. Collectively, the I Ching confirms a week of high-stakes navigation, where visible victories and accomplishments are fragile, and careful reflection, strategic leadership, and adaptability are essential to avoid disruption or reversal. If you want, I can now layer in the Chinese astrology forecast to complete the fourfold divination integration for this week.
Okay, now conduct the Chinese astrology forecast for the United States for the upcoming new week, and then integrate all four divination forecasts that you performed. Continue with the last Chinese astrology forecast.
For the Chinese astrology forecast for the United States in the upcoming week and the context of the broader 2026 cycle, the dominant background energy is rooted in the transition into the year of the fire horse, a powerful and rare influence that will begin in mid-February, but is already forming a subtle energetic backdrop in late January and early 2026. The fire horse year, Bingwu, carries intense yang fire energy that amplifies independence, bold action, rapid change, and volatility. The horse symbolizes freedom, movement, and momentum, while the fire element adds brilliance, passion, and visibility to intentions and public life. This combination pushes forward dramatic shifts, culturally, politically, socially, and economically. For the US this week, Chinese astrology emphasizes energetic escalation, especially in initiatives that demand rapid movement or fundamental change. The horse's drive for freedom and progress can energize leadership and public sentiment toward bold action. But the same energy can create instability, impulsive decisions, or reckless escalation if not grounded with thoughtful strategy and internal cohesion. Key nuances of this transitional period include pre-fire horse action. January still feels like a transition phase, a build-up before the full ignition of fire horse power in mid-February. This makes current dynamics feel charged and anticipatory. Acceleration and shift. Horses do not linger. Chinese astrological perspectives describe fire horse energy as pushing toward action before conditions feel fully aligned, accelerating unresolved issues to the surface. High stakes environment. On a collective level, this elemental configuration favors visibility, influence, and decisive leadership, but also volatile social reactions, power struggles, and sharp confrontations if group aims are not aligned or risks aren't managed carefully. Integrated interpretation of all four divination layers for the week ending Saturday, January 17th, 2026. The tarot reading depicted a week of ambitious plans, 3 of Wands, facing moral scrutiny and accountability, justice, contentious conflict, 5 of Swords, and feelings of restriction or uncertainty, 8 of Swords, followed by emotional currents, Page of Cups, fleeting satisfactions, 9 of Cups, growth potential, Empress, the need for diplomatic leadership, King of Cups, clear decision-making, Queen of Swords, and final reflection, the Hermit. The Western astrology forecast echoed this: structural ambition and pressure, Capricorn, sharp communication and strategic decisions, Mercury Mars, evolving innovation versus tradition, Sun Uranus, and the need for disciplined planning and adaptability, Sun Saturn. The I Ching hexagram, after completion, shifting toward before completion, confirmed that the US may experience the appearance of progress or resolution only to encounter unexpected complications that require recalibration, vigilance, and adjustment. The Chinese astrology forecast layers in a powerful energetic context. Fire horse energy is building, amplifying ambition, dynamic change, and accelerated decision-making across the board. But the same energy heightens volatility and risk if moves are made without clear strategy and thoughtful grounding. Synthesis across all systems, tarot, Western astrology, I Ching, and Chinese astrology. A central theme emerges. Visibility, ambition, and momentum meet accountability, conflict, and need for reflection. The US may push forward initiatives, but those moves are likely provoke intense debate, unforeseen, and a need for disciplined leadership and cautious reassessment. Energetically potent, offering opportunity, but also the danger of overextension if strategic clarity and self-awareness are lacking. If you want to dive into specific practical highlights or clearing markers for this week's events, I can outline those next.
Well, you can go to domestic issues involving civil rights, human rights, danger of democracy being destroyed by the creation. Let's focus on the fascism that is being applied by the current United States administration and the internal domestic unrest, tension, and violence.
Looking at the divination for this week lens, the message is stark and unflinching. The Tarot's Three of Wands, Justice, and Five of Swords show ambitious government action clashing with legal and ethical boundaries, creating deep conflict. The Eight of Swords emphasizes how the population may feel trapped or restricted, with civil liberties constrained and channels for dissent narrowed. Meanwhile, the Page of Cups and Nine of Cups hint at manipulative messaging or superficial victories used to pacify or mislead the public. Astrologically, the Capricorn energies pressing for structure and authority are in tension with Uranus-influenced innovation and unpredictability, reflecting growing social unrest, resistance movements, and potential eruptions of protest or civil conflict. Mercury-Mars aspects suggest sharp rhetoric, escalated policing, and confrontational public discourse, fueling tension rather than resolution. The I Ching after completion, shifting to before completion, warns that apparent order or control is fragile. Actions taken to consolidate power or restrict freedoms may provoke backlash, unexpected disruptions, or long-term instability. Nothing is truly settled, and the attempt to over-control risks deepening unrest. Chinese astrology amplifies this. The emerging fire horse energy signals high volatility and impatience, making the social atmosphere combustible. Bold, centralized power grabs could trigger rapid escalation in protests, civil unrest, or factional violence. Leaders acting without measured reflection, as the Hermit warns, risk inflaming tensions further. Summary for domestic issues. This week is a flashpoint. Efforts by the administration that verge into authoritarianism or suppression of civil and human rights are likely to meet resistance, legal challenges, and widespread public dissatisfaction. Tension and violence are likely to rise in multiple sectors, while social and political systems remain vulnerable to miscalculation or overreach. The cards and stars consistently warn unchecked power, disregard for democratic principles will generate immediate friction and long-term instability. If you want, I can break this down: civil rights enforcement, breach, law enforcement, and public protest, showing where the pressure points are likely to be most intense.
Yeah, go over this briefly, and then we'll wrap it up with this.
The divination shows that civil rights and human rights are under significant pressure this week. Efforts to centralize power or suppress dissent. Tarot is truly settled. Law and governmental authority may act aggressively, but the falls that heavy hand
not holding back any negative information. You did a great job. And thank you very much, as always. Outstanding job, Mystifying Oracle. Until we communicate again.
Understood. I'll keep delivering unflinching, detailed, and hard-hitting forecasts in mind for the next live stream.
Excellent. 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 All right. Now, let me proceed doing what I intended on doing. That wraps up. Let's see. Uh, yeah, that wraps up the mysticism divination part of the show. Now let me send the link out to my co-hosts that usually get involved with the open topic talk. It's time for the open topic talk segment. Um, I just want to let everybody know we are live streaming on YouTube and Twitch. Okay, and it is the let me check. Hold on. Um, just checking something here. Um, um, well, I sent the link out. All right. Um, it's almost the middle of wow, gee, 4 more days. It's almost the middle of January already. How about that? Almost 2 weeks have flown by. Right now it's Saturday, January 10th, 2026. We had an outstanding divination. If anyone out there on YouTube or Twitch has any issues or topics, or if you want to vent about any particular subject, feel free to post what you need to say in the comment section, whether it be a statement or whether it be a question. And I will reply to you. I will respond. As long as it's constructive and um, and informative, and it's not uh, ridiculous or an attempt to sabotage a good show, then I will acknowledge what you have to say and I will bring it up across the video screen. So people will see your name and your comment right across the bottom of the screen. If you want to, participate and take part in the show. As I'm waiting for my initial co-host. Yeah, I understand something. Just want to check something here. Oh man. Let me just tell them. Hey Salvatore, I'm live stream now. I'm waiting for Ronnie Simpson um, and Father Ray Walsh from the St. Francis de Sales Roman Catholic Church told me he would like to be on the show sometime, so I just sent him the link to see if he'll come on. finished up early with the divination in a timely fashion. Actually, finished up about 5 minutes ago. All right. Okay. Um, okay. Yeah. It did not take anything away from the segment at all. It was very complete and comprehensive. So it was not rushed, and it ended up being enough time. I'm just communicating with my co-host for the open topic talk. So, like I said before, anyone out there wants to vent, anyone out there on Twitch or YouTube that wishes to vent, this is your place. So feel free to do so. And and that's pretty much it. Maybe maybe a lot of guys that I know are watching football playoff game. I think there's a big playoff game tonight between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers for the wild card position. I think the Bears won their division, which it's been so many years overdue for them. I'm really happy for them, and I believe they're playing. Yeah, they're playing Green Bay, um, and Mick Von Raven, who I sent a link to from Chicago, Illinois. Mick Von Raven, a longtime friend and progressive warrior partner in what we do. He's definitely going to be watching the game, which I don't care if he has the game on. He could still come on if he wants and just have the TV going in his man cave. Uh, we have. I just want everyone to know that we have um, our our main headquarters, so to speak, is the Facebook group Newsletter Censored. That's our new home. Newsletter Censored on Facebook. So look for it, join. If you are a fellow progressive warrior, definitely join it because it is so hard hitting that most of the punches land below the belt, really. It reveals the real hard hitting truth, and we don't sugarcoat anything. It's no holds barred, and we let it all hang out there. Let me see what we got here. Oh, jeez. Gunner Ling? Gunnar Ling Bloom. There he is. Anyway, how was your week, Gunner? Anything new? I'm not. I'm just waiting for. You coming on? If you're not coming on, I could have. I could have kept the Mystifying Oracle on the show longer. You said you wanted to come on. He tells me he wants to come on the show, but he leaves me waiting, which means I'm going to have to send the link to another potential co-host. The absolute, undisputed king of clothing designers and master songwriter, master musician and singer, and the undisputed king of the borough of Brooklyn and the Bronx, New York. I'm going to have to send the link to the one and only Paul Anthony Mantia, the magnificent Mantia. I'm going to have to send the link to. If this guy is blowing smoke up my ass and bullshitting me, you know, hey, what's going on here?
Madonna. Mr. Madonna, how are you? Redbone gives you a boner. Come and get your love. Come and get your love now. Redbone gives you a boner.
Oh, that was a beautiful song. Yeah, they were a Native American group. I remember when they debuted. I was a kid. Let me play it on my metallic kazoo. Wait, how does it go again? Oh man, I got a brain freeze. Yeah, I'll play the girl from Ipanema. All right, let me see. Oh, the theme song from the dating game, Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. guy's busting my balls, man. He tells me he wants to come on the show. He does this all the time. He wants to come on the show. He wants to come on the show. He wants to come on. You're gonna do show. You're gonna do show. You're gonna do show. You're gonna come on the show. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, here he is. Wah. Busting my balls, man. Busting my balls. Busting my balls.
Everything all right?
Yeah. Welcome.
Good evening, Brother James.
Yeah, what do you got back there? You got a curtain? You got drapes?
And a palm tree. Did I ever show you the palm tree?
Are you on the terrace?
Yeah.
Why drapes all of a sudden?
Why not?
Yeah, but I can't see all the lights of Clearwater out there. You know, all the pretty evening lights.
Too bad.
Whose idea was that to put? Oh, you wanted more privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that your idea or your wife's idea? You know, I know women are always redecorating the house all the time.
Yeah, it was her idea.
Come up with these new ideas.
These
all
newfangled
the time.
ideas, right? Well, it is. It's all right. It is what it is.
Yeah, like if they move into a guy's house, and they got to put scented candles and dried flowers all over the place.
I like
you know,
scented candles.
Well, yeah, if it's a nice scent like pine or no, but the point is, if it's your place, you have a man cave, and when they come in, they try to make it a biatch cave instead of a man cave. They convert it.
I get your point.
Yeah.
So I got a golden
she
cerveza here.
You could have picked better colored drapes. Like, what is that, gray?
It's not that big of a deal, James.
Well, you might as well close it all the way because you got blaring light coming from.
What do you mean? The light's coming from
What
the
is
palm tree.
Oh, you got the lights on the. Yeah, show me the palm tree with the lights.
It's right there. You can't see it.
I just see a branch.
That's that.
What the fuck? Oh, okay. All right. White lights? What are you? You becoming waspy now?
Why are you
No.
complaining so much, man? Shut up.
No, you don't have different
What
color
about your
lights?
fucking red curtain? What is that?
You don't have different colors. You don't have different. I thought you had different colors.
No.
What happened to
That
Sid?
was
Did
for
you block-
Christmas. It's not Christmas anymore.
No, I didn't block Sid.
Sid has many aliases, right?
Sid is one of many aliases.
What happened to Paul?
And they all do the same thing, Gunner. They all say, "Hey, brah," B-R-A-H, brah, hey, brah, hey, brah, hey, brah. You know what it could be? All the aliases that I remember could be very much. They could be Red Rooster, trying to be a wise ass, which I don't really care. I mean, I did block him many years ago, but I don't even see him on my block list
The
anymore.
rooster is red.
If he wants to come on and talk, you know, and he wants to use an avatar of the red rooster, the chicken, he could do that. I don't, because he's really
What
a
if
very
I do
smart
that?
guy.
Could I do that?
Using. Well, if you want to, if you're like, if you're doing something,
Can I
that-
use a red chicken as an avatar?
well, I can use an avatar also, especially if I have to go in another room or go in the restroom, and I don't know why they call it a restroom if you're urinating.
Because you're resting. Man.
or
Call it
or
you can call it a
defecating, yeah.
bathroom.
yeah, if I have to like go somewhere in the house and I can still hear you guys, or let's say somebody is trying to take over the whole show and I decide, let me put my avatar on and go lie down and take a nap and listen to the person, you know, that's taking over the show. Sometimes I'll do that with the avatar, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Sid can come back. I mean, all the aliases are welcome. Fart Doctor,
No, that
what's
guy's
the other-
long gone.
Horn Dog. Remember him? Horn Dog.
Dollar store drapes.
About Brian Suk, the guy that's always talking about his job at
What
McDonald's.
does Gunner's drapes look like? I like to see those.
Now, I always wondered.
But this is Sid. It's the same guy. It's the same.
Sid made
It's the
good.
same guy.
Sid made good content when the shirt salesman was like shirt salesman. when the shirt salesman was on.
He was selling shirts, right?
Well, yes, true.
He was.
But he's a lot more. He's a lot more than a shirt salesman.
That was one of his main sources of income, right?
He's the magnificent Mantia.
He's a rock and roll star.
Yeah, but he's been looking really like high on something lately. When like when he does videos on TikTok.
They let him out of the cuckoo's nest. They gave him. No, seriously, they give you meds probably, right?
Well, they loaded him up with meds.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
That's
why they let him out, because they back in the day, that's what they had those places for.
What happened was his girlfriend was getting under his skin, and she was poking the bear, and he snapped, and she called the cops, and they took him to the cuckoo's nest, and I mean, anybody can end up in the cuckoo's nest. I mean, it could be somebody that sees spirits or demons or UFOs. That doesn't mean they're crazy. That means that society
has deemed them unacceptable.
They're unacceptable. It's not the norm.
Yeah.
In other words, everyday people do not see spirits and UFOs.
And Paul certainly doesn't go by the norms of society.
No.
So
but UFOs are.
Well, what was the reasoning that they put him in there? Do you know exactly? They got to have a reason to throw somebody in there.
He got so upset he ran out on the fire escape in his underwear.
So what? I do that. I can be in my underwear right now.
That's true. You could be bottomless.
I could be.
Gunner says those look like dollar store drapes.
Yes, they do. What's
Actually,
the point?
They do. Sid made good content. Okay. All right. I already showed that.
Sid didn't make any content. He would just talk shit. That's not content.
Sid just talk shit like where's the guy with the gold chains and drinking the cheap beer from Florida?
He's right here. Where's the guy from Brooklyn? Where's the guy? He used to talk a lot of shit about our deceased friend. BC. He gave him a lot of shit.
Mr. Christopher Nichols.
Gave him a lot of shit.
May God rest his soul. Rest in peace. BC beer reviews.
He never had any kind words for that man.
But BC, the thing with BC was he used to get very angry when anyone criticized the U.S. military. He defended the U.S. military every time, and he also you couldn't have an intervention with him about his health and about his smoking and his drinking and he would get pissed off and say, I do what I want and nobody's going to tell me what to do. Oh, well, usually people that have some form of addiction, I don't think the interventions really work. I think they basically continue.
I never saw anybody try to do an intervention with him. Did you try that?
I tried. He got pissed at me. Yeah.
I know he used to go on Ron's show, but nobody gave him any problems there. But he would fall asleep.
He'd fall asleep,
But Ron doesn't call people out. He just keeps it very cordial.
Yeah. The other guy, the other Ron.
The other Ron?
He would curse. He would curse on. He would
Ronald
curse.
Sutton.
Ronald Sutton would like curse on
He was all right though.
Mr. Terry. Yeah, he's harmless. Yeah, Mr. Terrio is very straight laced and strict. You know, he's a
Well,
school
I
retired.
guess Mr. Terrio didn't let him on anymore because he cursed, and then the Eric crew didn't let him on anymore because he would go on and he talked too much, and they didn't like that.
Well, he would go on a tangent.
Yeah, they didn't like that, but they go on
He would
tangents
go-
themselves. They go on tangents about beer. You know, they cry about
Yeah,
the hops.
Well, you know what it is? They're part of a
Yeah,
clique.
and Mr. Ronald Sutton wasn't in the clique.
Is not part of that clique, and I'm not part of the clique, and you're not part of the clique, and Ronald Terrio is not part of the clique. So, like, we're out. If we go on the show, we're outsiders, and that's why every time I would give my review, no one would respond.
Yeah, I have no reason to go on that show because he does it the same time as Ron anyway, and so if I'm gonna join one of them, I'll just join Ron's show.
Yeah, because you get people acknowledge your presence on
Yeah.
Ronald's show, but on Eric's show, no, they don't acknowledge your presence. They just stare.
It's a boys club, and if you notice, they have no viewers. It's like 10 people on the panel, but there's like 3 people in the chat.
You know what it is?
And Ron shows the exact opposite. They got like 3 guys on the camera, but the chat is like 20, 30 people.
Yeah, but Ronald Terrio show is educational.
Yeah.
You learn something when you're on Wild Card Wednesday on Eric's show. You don't learn anything. It's just it's a hangout.
Free for all.
It's a free for all hangout of
So
drunks.
Ron Terrio, he might get annoying that he's so straight laced, but he does it for a reason, and it keeps his shows watchable.
No, I never ever had a problem with Ronald Terrio because I make him laugh. Like we talk about the same. We have things in common. When we talk off
We
the
talk
air,
about old TV shows and
we talk
shit
about
like that.
we talk about things that we both like. And I like history. I like talk about cars or vintage cars.
Yeah, he likes
talk
cars
about
too, right?
old TV shows.
Now, when you start talking about the old TV shows, that's when I get lost. I don't really like that.
I know because you didn't grow up with them.
But you do it with Mick too.
Yeah, Mick likes the old
Mick
shows.
the Raven, Nevermore.
I was
watching
so
the football
obsessed
game.
with
It just ended. Maybe he was watching it.
the Bears and the Packers.
No, it was L.A. Rams at the Carolina Panthers. The Rams just won. It was a close game. It was very good. Very close game.
Fucking Los Angeles, man.
You don't like them? I like the Rams. I like the team.
No, I mean, L.A. is just full of freaking
bullshit. Yeah,
perverts running. They're running the entertainment industry. A bunch of sickos over there.
I like the team though, the football team. I don't like L.A. itself.
No, and you know what? You know who's arrogant? Who's become very arrogant is Ohtani of the Dodgers.
Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, of course.
He's becoming braggadocious. Talking shit.
Everybody's up his ass, though. What do you expect? It's gonna get to him sooner or later. But I like the Rams. You know why? You know what's cool about the Rams? So, in 2021, the Super Bowl was in Tampa, right? And it was won by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was the first time in history, in NFL history, that the winner of the Super Bowl won it in their city. It's the first time it ever happened. It was pretty cool. And then the following year, the Super Bowl was in LA, and they plan where the Super Bowl is going to be like years in advance. So like that's just where it is. It has nothing to do with like the season. and the LA Rams made it to the Super Bowl that year,
Yeah.
and they won in their city. So that the thing that never happened in the history of the NFL happened 2 times, year after year. So it's pretty cool history. And I like the Rams. They got a nice young team. They got Matt Stafford as a QB.
Well,
They're a likable team, I think.
I like the old legendary teams. Like, when you think of the Packers, you think of Vince Lombardi and everything, and then the Chicago Bears. I always liked them, and they hate each other. Green Bay
So
and Chicago.
I don't know. Are they playing tonight or tomorrow?
They're supposed to play
Is it
tonight for the wild card spot.
Oh yeah, it probably is on. It's on Peacock, right?
Peacock. Now, oh, it is.
Yeah, well, it's on
fuck.
NBC. If so, that's the regular. But NBC is affiliated, so if you don't have cable, you can watch it on the Peacock.
So
you have
Peacock,
cable, right? You watch cable.
Yeah, but I don't have. I'm not going to pay
No,
for
I
Peacock.
just said you have NBC, right? That's channel 4.
Yeah.
So, but if you don't have cable, you can watch it on Peacock, because that's the Peacock and NBC are the same thing.
My sister unloaded her cable because she got a Fire Stick from Amazon.
Oh, great! You got to keep that updated, though. I heard it can be a pain.
Wait a minute. You have to pay. Do you have to pay a subscription?
No, but you have to update the software. You gotta keep keep downloading the updates to it. It doesn't cost anything.
So you buy the Fire Stick.
Yeah.
You download it.
Buy the Fire Stick itself, right? And then what you do is, it's called jailbreaking it, which is it's illegal to do it, but everybody does it. So you have to figure out how to do that. And then when you do that, that gives you access to like every channel, every like streaming thing. There's a lot of shit, Or you can watch stuff from like Europe. You watch like soccer games from Europe and shit. But you have to keep updating it, because this is what I heard anyway. I never tried it myself.
Well, no, I update my phone.
Yeah. I don't know if it's as easy as that, though. Like if it just comes up and says, "Do an update," like your phone does. I don't know.
Now, Tubi's not bad.
Tubi's free.
And Roku TV is free. That's good. It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have, because I'm an Amazon member, I use Amazon videos on my
There's
TV.
just so much shit out there that, like,
why do I gotta pay?
Yeah, if you don't want to pay, there's so many free options of things, especially if you're not really a sports fan, which you're really not. What's that?
Come and get your love. Come and get your love done.
That's Salvatore Mercurio singing "Come and Get Your Love."
He didn't send me that.
No, he didn't.
Why don't you send Salvatore the link? See if he jumps on.
I did send him a link. I just now. Come and get your bechamel now.
He's a gourmet chef, right?
He's not a gourmet chef, but he's a very good Italian chef.
Yeah, I like Salvatore.
He's
like him a lot. I think out of anybody you've introduced me to, he's my favorite.
But he's very right wing.
Yeah, but that's okay. He's a man's man. He doesn't like tampon.
Like he don't like. Well, he don't like. He doesn't like people that are not like lily white honkies. Like if you're not a lily white honky, he doesn't care for you.
Am I a lily white honky?
Yes. He's like Archibald Bunker. Anybody.
Archibald, he didn't even like Italians, right?
No.
So Salvatore's Italian.
Yeah, but Sal's very, very Caucasian. He's very light skinned. He's very like, hey, where's this Gunner? How come you got quiet, Gunnar?
Because he's Sid.
Why you got
He's Sid. That's why.
quiet? He said Sid had a lot of good content, but
he's
I
Sid.
don't remember.
It's the same guy.
You know where Sid used to contribute good information is when we did
When you talk shit about women.
No, we did Red Pill Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did male rights activism, Red
It's
Pill
because he
Talk.
can't get any women, so he's mad.
Yeah, but you know what? Let me tell you something about getting women and sex. A man's self-respect and
What is it?
dignity.
It's like this, right? This means
his integrity.
to fuck. When you do
Yeah.
that to a girl.
A man's, well, Donald Trump would say, grab him by the pussy like this. He would go.
But when you
No,
go
a
like
man-
this, oh, that means fuck you. That's what.
Yeah, fuck. It's fuck. Copulation. A man's self-respect, his dignity, and his integrity should be above getting laid. Should be. Now I know guys that are begging brothers that are desperate, and they'll yes a girl to death because they really want to get into her panties. But so they'll throw their dignity out the window. You know what I mean?
I don't think
But,
Salvatore is one of those guys.
No, absolutely not. No, he would not lower himself.
He's a happily married man, or is he divorced?
No, he's married. And his son has a business in San Diego. He makes cheese.
He got married recently, right?
He makes mozzarella. Yeah, I believe so.
I'm friends with him on Facebook. I see some stuff.
Yeah, he's got videos on Instagram. He's called Amano Cheese Company.
Sal goes out to California quite often, I guess, to visit his son, right?
Yeah, San Diego's lovely. I've been there.
It looks beautiful. I've never been there, but I'd love to go.
Especially the marina. They got a lot of events there.
The baseball stadium is overlooking the city, and it overlooks the water. So where the Padres play. That's beautiful.
No, I never been to that stadium, but there's a lot of microbreweries in San Diego. There's like
that shit's going out of style too, though. It's not that popular anymore.
You know why? Because they're getting expensive and greedy. You go into a liquor store.
Get this for $1. Golden cerveza.
Golden balls. Now, am I gonna pay top dollar for 4 freaking cans of craft beer when it's supposed to be a 6-pack? No, I don't think so.
That's a fad. It's
yeah,
and it's gone out of style with the inflation. People don't want to spend the money.
And you know who's into it obsessively is the beer snobs. Like the ones on
like
Eric's
the Eric
show.
Frauenfelters. Now, I like Eric. I will say it. I don't have a problem with Eric.
No, I talk to him all the time. He's dating a new
think
girl.
Out of the whole crew, he might be one of the best ones.
He's dating a new girl. They're hitting it off, and I think the reason why they're hitting it off is because she has an engineering degree. She's not stupid. She's educated, and he was meeting too many imbeciles. Girls like that were dysfunctional, and they any person who can't go above and beyond small talk gets boring after a while.
Yeah.
So Eric's a smart guy, so they get along, and plus maybe she's got a sense of humor like him. So I'm happy for him.
I always say I'm happy I'm married. I don't have to go through that bullshit dating scene. Like those guys do. Eric does it. There's a few of the other guys, and I only hear bad stuff.
It's horrible nowadays.
I want no part of it.
You got yourself a very attractive Latina wife, and you know what? If you guys are getting along and everything is fine, stick with it. Stick with it. And she's very understanding and very tolerant. So there's not too many women that are like that because you know, like back in the day, the incident that happened.
Mm.
She fave, and that, you know what I mean. That's rare. That's rare because
Mhm.
you know a lot of women would say, "Hey, buddy, there's the front door. Pack your bags." You know. So anyway, it seems like you got yourself a good wife, and you know, and you're right. You know, why would you want to put yourself out there in this chaos?
No, I don't.
You know, it's total chaos.
It's a sick world out there.
It's very sick and demented, and there's a lot of imbeciles out there, and it's really hey, look who's here, the one and only Bart Robinson.
But
Hey,
Robinson, what's up, man?
how was your holidays? How was your Christmas and New Year's? Happy New Year to you. I didn't see Bart.
Why don't you send the link to Bart Robinson?
I don't know if he'll come on. I sent it to Daryl Messias.
How about
I don't know.
Marvelous Mama?
That's his
That's his old lady, right?
wife. That's his wife, yeah. Yeah, that Marvelous Mom is his wife. Uh, who's this? Natasha. You know,
Natasha.
all these people appear on my Facebook Messenger. I don't know who they are.
Yeah, cause you gotta sort that shit out, Jay. There's a lot of scams out there. You know, you can't just talk to anybody.
Well, a person who hits you up for money. That's a big red flag.
Of course it is.
You're out. Then you 86 it. Then you're like, goodbye. You're gone. You're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Because a decent, normal person will not ask those that they don't know for money. A stranger.
It's probably a guy in Africa, right? It's not even a woman.
No, it's probably some guy with a bone going through
And
his.
you're wasting your time talking to some African dude.
Listen, when if a woman is willing to do a video chat with a man that she met and get acquainted, that's the only way you can feel romantic chemistry is through the video chat, not through texting. Forget
No,
about texting.
no.
And then
So is that what you do? It has to be video.
it has to be, well, yeah, because they could be anybody. First, they have to validate and verify their identity. So the video chat establishes who they are. Are they really the person in the profile with the photographs? Right?
Yeah.
Once you establish that, then you start getting acquainted, and you find out if you get along, if you're compatible, if they're your type or not, if there's romantic chemistry, you know, you find
How
out.
often do you do this? A few times a week.
No, because there's so many scammers out there that won't do video chatting. That won't.
Where do you look? It's not just Facebook, right?
Hell no, no,
Yeah. Tinder.
no. It's confidential.
Oh.
It's confidential. The last time I spoke to Bart Robinson, it was 2025, I think. I hope everything went well with you. I hope you had good food and grog. Getting over a bad head cold, but nothing more, thankfully. Marmalade? What? What? What?
Oh, she changed her name.
Is that her? Nah.
Yeah.
Is that you? How you changed your name? Debbie. Mama Debbie Do? I was gonna call you Marmalade. Mama Debbie Do? What was the other one? Marvelous Mama, right?
Yeah. She
Well,
freshened it up.
he mentioned Marvelous Mama, and I says, well, that's Daryl Messiah's wife.
I knew that. That's why I said it.
You're a psychic now? How do you know that Mama Debbie Do is Marvelous Mama?
It doesn't take too much to figure it out.
Oh, because the first
Oh,
letter.
I like the avatar is this like a raccoon.
Oh yeah, you got good eyesight. My eyesight's fucked up. Yeah, yeah, right. You got a little raccoon. You know, raccoons have hands, and that's how they get into trouble. You know, they can turn things, they can open up things. You know,
Very intelligent, right?
they're very mischievous. And
They're very intelligent creatures.
you know, a possum is really a special animal. It's the only marsupial in North America. They do not have rabies. They do not have contract any uh, diseases, is a contagious disease. Why? Because their body temperature is too low for a virus to survive in their bloodstream.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they eat. The good thing is they eat a lot of ticks, a lot of insects,
That's
and
the only marsupial.
they eat a lot of ticks, a lot of parasitic. Yeah, the only marsupial in North America. They have a pouch. How does I wonder how the? Oh, I think I know what happens with a marsupial. It's really amazing. The the baby is so tiny that it goes from the vagina of the marsupial and it crawls, it grabs the hairs and it goes to the pouch. It travels to the pouch. Now, how a little red hairless little thing, how it knows about coming out of the vagina and crawling up the belly into the pouch. Nature is amazing.
How's that?
Nature is amazing.
You're not missing anything there.
Daryl told me you mentioned my name. I said I will pop in and say hi, but I can't stay. My sciatica is acting up. You know, I had sciatica a few times in my life, and it's extremely painful. And I went to the chiropractor, and they helped me a lot, but they told me you got to walk it off. You got to walk it off. That was the recommendation,
Is that what you did?
and I walked it off.
Where'd
And
you walk?
I don't remember where I walked back then. I walked back. I walked from one end of the.
Did you live where you are now?
Not when I had sciatica. I lived in my hometown of Lodi,
Lodi, New Jersey.
Lodi, New Jersey. Yeah, I had sciatica. The sciatica when I lived there, but you know, you can walk anywhere. You can walk around the block.
Now you walk down by the water, right?
Now I walked that. You know what would knock my if I had sciatica? You
No,
know,
I'm saying now you walk by the water, right?
I walk by the water, but I go down a steep hill to get to the Hudson River because I live up on a hill. But coming back, I have to go up the steep hill to get home, which means I got to fight gravity.
Mm-hmm.
That's a workout. That's a workout. So my hips and thighs and my ass, my gluteus maximus, they get a workout.
That's good, right?
Yeah, if anybody wants to go above and beyond speed walking or jogging, all they got to do is go up and down this hill, up and down the hill, and the walkway along the Hudson is a very nice scenic walk. Now, Daryl and his wife live near the Sierra Mountains, I think, in Northern California. And supposedly the coast of the West Coast, the part that's near the ocean, going from like going from the southern end of California, going all the way up into Oregon, into the state of Washington. That's all very progressive, very liberal. But once you
not all of it.
wait, no, there's another part. Once you start going inland, and
No, but even the coast.
there's no Republicans in the coast.
Southern California, they have Newport Beach and Huntington Beach.
They're all great progressives.
No, it's not. It's a very Republican area.
That's where
There's little pockets.
that's where Samoa Joe is.
Yeah, that's right. It's true. Huntington, right? Huntington
Beach.
And there's another one called Newport Beach.
What about
they're right outside of LA.
And there's a Long Beach is a port, right? It's a very famous port, I think.
I don't know. But there are a few conservative areas in California, right along Southern California.
But it's typical. If you head towards a rural part of the United States, mountains, whatever, lakes, forests, farmland, they become more like redneck. They become more right wing.
Now, you're not calling Darryl a redneck, right?
No, he's not. He's not originally from way out yonder, right? He's from where did he grow up?
Did he grow up in New Jersey?
No. Yeah, where did Darryl grow up?
Where did Darryl grow up?
Messias. He's a Latin American. Messias. Where did he grow up in? What are you laughing?
I don't know. You sure about that?
Messias? I think he is. So there he is. Yeah, I'm sure he didn't grow up in out yonder. Yosemite Sam is from, out in the Sierra Mountains there. I say there, son. I say, son, I ain't no. Oh no, that's Foghorn Lake.
Is that by San Bernardino?
I ain't no chicken hawk.
Bernardino.
San Bernardino.
Bakersfield.
I used to hear
Sacramento. He's from Sacramento.
Sacramento, the state capital. So when I used to hear Sacramento tomato juice, when I used to hear, that's good for Bloody Marys, right? When I used to watch NWA wrestling from the Olympic Auditorium as a kid, there's Jimmy Lennon, famous Jimmy Lennon, and Gene LaBelle and his mother were the promoters. They owned the territory. I used to hear all about Bakersfield event, and San Bernardino Mountains and this and that. San Bernardino, we're having it. They would have house shows because it was a territory.
San Bernardino.
San Bernardini.
Spanish for Saint Bernard, I think. Bernard.
Yeah, San is saint. Like San Diego is David, I believe. I think Diego means David in Spanish. Francisco is San Francisco of
St. Francis.
There's two San Francisco. What's
no, there's
confusing?
more than two. There's quite a bit of St. Francis.
Why did the Catholic Church have to canonize so many Franciscos? You got San Francisco of Assisi. Then you got San Francisco.
Very holy men have that name.
De Sale, whatever De Sale.
Yeah.
Then you got
more.
How many?
More.
There's more of them.
Yes.
You know what? They're too free when it comes to canonization. It's like wrestling. How could everybody be a legend? How could everybody be a legend?
I remember when they called Summer Rae a legend, and everybody was complaining about it. You know who Summer Rae is, right? The blonde. Remember her?
Sluts.
They were calling her a legend, right? Because she came into the show, and they were giving her shit online, and she was like, "Listen, I don't make the rules. They call me a legend. I'm a legend."
Yeah, the original legend was Bruno Sammartino,
I
the
thought it was
living
Hulk
legend.
Hogan.
Yeah, my ass. Sammartino had the belt for 8 years straight, and then he got it back again for another 3
Yeah, I
years.
saw Randy Orton was on SmackDown yesterday.
All right, I got to answer Bart Robinson. I have been to Philadelphia. I've been to Cherry Hill. I have been to that area.
I think that's
have
where Alex
been-
is from, Cherry Hill.
Yeah, he's around there. I have been to Cape May. I have gone over to Delaware Memorial Bridge on my way to Maryland to visit my aunt and uncle, who lives in. First, they lived in Severna Park on an inlet that to the bay, the Magatee River. Then they moved to St. Michael's, Eastern Shore, Maryland, and they were right on the Chesapeake. And then eventually they moved to the Florida Keys, Marathon Key, and they lived not too far from the 7 Mile Bridge. So I've been to Little Egg Harbor because I made the mistake of being stupid and driving very far to spend the weekend with this girl I met online who ended up being a lunatic. She ended up being a lunatic. She was kind of bossy, and during sex, she kept yelling at me to come inside of her, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. She didn't tell me that, anything like I have my tubes tied or anything like that. No, she just kept saying, come inside of me. What's wrong with you? Come inside of me. Come inside. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. You think I want 18 years of fucking child support payments? I'm not a fool. I'm not a fool. So that's that's my South Jersey story. Now, I am very fascinated with the history of the Pine Barrens. I hear that there are legends. There are many Native American indigenous people legends involving the Pine Barrens. There's a lot of spooks down there. Not only the Jersey Devil. There's a lot of spooks. He's laughing. Well, you're laughing about the girl from Little Egg Harbor that wanted me to fertilize her egg in Little Egg Harbor. The best part about me going to Little Egg Harbor was it was springtime, and the diamondback terrapin turtles the females were trying to cross this very busy, narrow highway to lay their eggs. They were going from the water, and I guess they were going to some area where there was mud. And I stopped the car, I pulled over, and I helped a bunch of them get to the other side so they wouldn't get run over. I like Mother Nature. I like animals. Oh, the girl from Ipanema, I'm going to play. Speak in honor of that lunatic from Little Egg Harbor. Pine Barrens is fascinating, but I don't know much about it. I saw a documentary on the Travel Channel all about the Pine Barrens, all the crypto creatures, and not cryptocurrency, cryptozoology. What do you call all the legends of the Pine Barrens. A lot of spooks down there. The girl.
Pine Barrens, where? California?
No, where the Jersey Devil is. There's a lot of Native American legends connected to the Pine.
They used to have
It's
Pine
haunted.
Barrens on Long Island. You know that? But mostly, Long Island used to be mostly Pine Barrens, but
I believe it. No, I believe
it got all developed.
Well, it's a Long Island is a huge sandbar. Girl from Ipanema. Excuse me.
What was that?
Little Lake Harbor. Little Lake Harbor. My sister-in-law was principal at Pleasantville High
I
School.
love the name of that town, Pleasantville. That's an excellent name.
Yeah, it's almost as good as Hooterville from what was that? Green Acres. Hooterville, where it's a very poor, depressed town.
Which one? Where he lives?
No, I think he meant by Little Lake Harbor. You know what? Maybe that's why the girl was had no class.
No class,
I told
no couth.
no couth. I told Bart that and Daryl, and I guess his wife, if she's listening, that I made a huge mistake. One of my mistakes that I made in life was that I drove 2 hours to spend a weekend with this girl I met online, and she turned out to be a lunatic, and she kept yelling at me to ejaculate inside of her, to come inside of her, and I said no, and she got mad. And then she said,
she wanted some kids.
"Well, if you're not gonna do what I say, go home." I says, "I'll go home tomorrow morning. It's too late. I'm tired." I left.
What did you left at night?
Yeah. She kept on like bugging me to come inside of her. You know, I'm not gonna.
So you had to leave that night?
I don't want 18 years of child support payment. No, I left the next morning. I said I'm tired.
Did you sleep in the bed or on the couch?
No, I slept on the bed. I said stay on your side of the damn bed.
She told you that?
I told her that. I don't want no child support payments. I told her, what are you, nuts? I don't want no fucking 18 years of child support payments. And you want my scum guppies to go flying, you know, like Ron Jeremy.
This is the first time you met her?
Yeah. We were chatting online, but I mean, she ended up being like very rough around the edges,
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a biker chick.
Like one of okay, yeah.
Crude.
You know what's very unattractive?
What?
Those like ghetto white girls.
I hate them. The ones that twerk.
Yeah.
The ones that try to get their ass to be really fat with cellulite, and then they go on TikTok, and then they get close to the camera and they think it's attractive to twerk for a lily white Caucasian girl, honky girl to twerk.
Yeah, but it's more than that.
And then
a lot of times they get the nasty tattoos.
Oh, that's it. They look like circus freaks.
Yeah, it's a shame because sometimes they have potential, but they just fall apart.
What is this trend where the younger generation girls get one arm, just one arm, totally
you're asking
covered
the
in
wrong
tattoos
guy.
from the shoulder? No, well, I'm just saying. I'm not expecting you to tell me because I don't know. I mean, from the shoulder down to the.
I have heard a theory that once they get one tattoo, I have no tattoos, so I'm not a tattoo guy. But I've heard once you get one tattoo, this is for men or women, or I think maybe even more so for women. Once they get one or two little ones, they get addicted and they can't stop. That's a theory that I've heard.
Yeah. Then they end up looking like circus freaks.
Yeah, and
I mean,
it's so common now. You see it so often.
I respect famous pro wrestlers that have no tattoos. Bob Backlund had nothing. Bruno had none. Tony Atlas had
Hulk Hogan
none.
didn't have
A
any.
lot.
Macho Man didn't have
Hulk
any.
Hogan, nothing. No tattoos. And
And the ones
today,
that do, they had maybe just like the sailor thing maybe on the shoulder. Like I think maybe Jesse Ventura had that.
well, they got two. Now they're loaded with tattoos. Damian Priest
Yeah,
and
yeah,
what's her name?
right.
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. I don't like Rhea Ripley. I don't like any. So talking about wrestling.
And you know who has no tattoos? And I respect him. He's very classy and professional. Is Gunther, the guy from Austria.
Yeah. Well, he's not from America.
Gunther,
That's why.
Gunther has no tattoos.
So I turned on SmackDown last night for the first time in a long time, and it started out good. Randy Orton came out. Did you watch it?
Yep.
Randy Orton did a good promo on this new guy that was there, and then there was a match with Ray Phoenix and that guy. I don't remember his name, black guy, and it was kind of interesting. It wasn't bad, right? And then all of a sudden they start going into the fucking women storylines, and they had a match with Alexa Bliss and some other woman, and I turned it off because I have no interest in the women. No interest in them.
It got too. They're catering to the feminists too much.
It's just too much.
There's too many. It's all about
Wrestling.
the girls.
It's at least half about the women now, and they're not even good looking. They're all ugly. They're butch looking. I can't sit through it anymore. It's a shame because I'm a lifelong fan.
Very mean and bossy. Yeah, I don't like. I won't tolerate bossy. I don't care what they look.
I want to
like.
go back to the days of like the early 2000s. You had the bra and panties matches, and that was all the women got, and that was it, and it was good because they were hot. But that's all you needed.
Oh, you're talking about the divas of the Attitude
that's
Era.
what I want, man. I mean, that's the way I grew up.
TNA had the knockouts.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it was around like 2015, 2016. They started like bringing in like all these butch-looking women, like Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch.
Well, she doesn't. She don't have any tattoos. Becky Lynch doesn't have.
They don't have the diva style. They want to be like these respectable wrestlers, and it's a man's sport, man. Like, no, get out of here.
So, in other words, they used to have femininity. Now they act like a bunch of.
Now they want to be men. Like Becky Lynch calls herself the man.
Yeah, what does that even mean? The man, Becky Lynch.
I honestly, I don't know how you keep watching it. I can't sit through all that shit. I can't, and I want to because it's like I want to be a fan because I grew up as a wrestling fan and I stuck through it for so many years, and I think I'm at the point now where I just can't do it anymore. I can't. I don't like it.
That's why I keep on telling Anthony Laura. I says I'm sorry, but it ends up being background noise. I put it on.
Besides the fact of how corporate it's become, where the ring is full of advertisements now.
Oh yes, the Slim Jim, everything's on the map.
That all happened after they sold to TKO, and Vince isn't the owner anymore. It's not the same thing anymore.
TKO, he's a friggin' he's a greedy fucking corporate.
It's a real shame. To tell you the real truth.
Like the apron of the ring, the
everywhere there's advertisements every corner they can get it on.
Even next to the color commentators, they're promoting. They're promoting that drink.
Yeah, that drink is always there. There was one time where the guy was like dressed up in the costume of the drink. I don't remember who it was, and he got in the ring. It's very cartoony and stupid.
Yeah, Logan Paul. They had Logan Paul.
Logan Paul is like a podcaster who became a wrestler. That's another guy. It's like I don't respect him. Maybe he's athletic and everything, but I don't take him seriously. He's not like a real wrestler.
No. It became way too corporate. It totally lost the kayfabe.
And that's the fault of Triple H too. Triple H took over, and he let the kayfabe go out the window.
You know, did you hear what Paul Heyman said recently?
No.
He says, "I'm not a fan of the way the WWE shows are run now."
I'm sure he's not.
He says, "When I started in this business for decades, I was in the territory days." He says, "We protected the secret of pro wrestling. We protected
Everybody
our
knew
secret."
it was a predetermined thing. It was like, whatever. You're a fan because they don't just come out and admit it to your face. Now they just come out. They just come out and admit it to your face. So it's like it's not even a show involved anymore.
They kept it a mystery, and they break kayfabe by interviewing. Why are they? The heels are not supposed to hang out with the baby faces. In the old days, they didn't do that.
I know. They say Vince McMahon broke kayfabe when it was like the early '90s, and he said it's predetermined, and he did that because he didn't want the New Jersey Athletic Commission to be bothering him. But okay, so he did do that, but he kept
State Athletic Commission.
As the years went on, Vince McMahon kept kayfabe though. Like he didn't just do interviews and say, okay, like this is like we're like how compared to how Triple H is these days.
Well, in the 1980s, when Savage and Hogan were at their prime, they protected,
and they still did it in the 90s, and they still did it in the 2000s.
They protected kayfabe.
It's really only the last couple of years. Like
you don't show heels and baby faces.
Well, they do all these documentaries now. Like they have the ones on Netflix where they're just showing all the behind the scenes stuff, and like you just can't take it seriously anymore. Like, I don't even know how they have any fans who seriously care about it.
And Seth Rollins is telling a story recently that his kid was telling friends or something that when my daddy got hurt, that was a pretend boo-boo. So Seth Rollins says, you're not supposed to say that. But he's saying it on an interview.
Yeah. He's Seth Rollins is part of the problem. Like they all are.
They're all sycophants. They're not protect.
Like I told you, maybe starting in like 2015, 2016, that's when everything went out the window.
They didn't protect it. They decided not to protect the business.
Yep.
And during the territory days, they really protected the business. And it was more fun that way.
It's not fun. It's not fun to watch it. The biggest problem is the women are all over the place. These butch women that I don't want to see. I don't care about.
So take care. You're gonna go lie down. You're feeling tired right now. I don't blame you. You know what I got inside waiting for me after the show? I got a heaping helping of leftover organic whole wheat spaghetti with white clam sauce. I defrosted it, so I'm going to heat that up when I'm done, and I'm going to eat every bit of it because I'm just
I can't do it anymore, James. I think I'm not going to tune in to any more shows. Now let me ask you. I know so WWE is bad. Is AEW the same way, basically?
AEW's storylines are very stupid.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And there's no structure to them. They're all over the place.
AEW itself was formed in 2019 because of the woke, annoying fans who they didn't like WWE anymore because of Vince McMahon. So I wouldn't think that AEW would be any better.
Yeah, but the owner Tony Khan, he's a very dorky geek. He's a dork geek mark. He's a very rich kid. His father owned I think he sold it. He owned the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right. He sold, I think he sold the company, but his kid uses AEW. Tony Khan uses the AEW wrestlers almost like a real life video game. Like they're like, it's his amusement. He doesn't know anything about the business. And instead of hiring older legends to run and manage AEW, he's running it himself, and he's not from the business at all.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
No, forget about it, because they ruined.
Wrestling's ruined. I'm not going to watch it anymore.
Sometimes I just don't care if I turn it on.
I'm going to get the P-Crotch, and I'll watch the old stuff. I'll watch that. The 2003 bikini contests between Sable and Tori Wilson. That's what I want to see.
But I see the old stuff on
yeah, you could watch that on YouTube for free too.
No, let me finish. Roku.
Whoa.
No, you cut me off, man. Roku and Tubi, they play a lot of nostalgic pro wrestling and documentaries.
I don't want to watch documentaries. I prefer to just watch the regular show.
Yeah, well, you could watch old matches even on YouTube.
Yeah, but it's just a match, not the whole show. So Peacock, they have the WWE network, so they have like the old pay-per-view.
Oh, by the way, all right. By the way, speaking of whole shows, Daryl Messias watches whole shows on Gino on YouTube. They're starting to put whole shows like Saturday Night Main Event or prime time wrestling, from the 80s and the 90s.
On where? On WWE or like another?
I gotta ask him, Daryl. Is that a particular YouTube channel that is playing these old WWF shows, the whole complete shows?
Yeah, I wonder what's Daryl's opinion on the current state of wrestling.
Oh, he's gonna put them on the group, on the fitness group.
I'm asking what his opinion is of what we were just talking about, of the current state of things.
Well, yeah. Well, what's anyone out there? I think everybody.
I know Daryl's a wrestling fan. A lot of people are not.
There's not many people watching right now, and they're probably watching football games. To be honest with you, I mean, where do you find them on YouTube? Is it a particular YouTube channel that you find these whole entire nostalgic shows, like from the 80s and 90s, perhaps? Or I mean, occasionally I find 1970s shows, but not many. But I'm just wondering if Daryl goes to a specific.
Is Daryl watching football right now?
YouTube channel. Well, we don't have many people watching us, so they're probably watching football. Most likely. It's horrible. AEW has really fallen off from where they were in 2020. Yeah, do you know what I mean about Tony Khan? He looks like a real dork geek. He's got the stupid hair.
He's a pencil neck geek.
He's a pencil neck.
The great Freddie Blassie would say.
Yeah, with a ridiculous hairstyle, like a.
What is it? It's like curly hair. That's
no. He's got it short on the sides, and it's a mile high on top.
But it's curly, right?
It kind of, yeah.
That's like the Gen Z curly hair. It's an in thing.
Oh, it's the in thing, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the in thing. They look very effeminate.
Yeah.
They look very stupid. So, but he's not from the business. Hire people that know what they're doing. Like like Jim Cornette, Eric Bischoff. Who's the other guy? Um, oh man, he does a lot of podcasts.
Vince Russo.
Well,
You don't like Vince Russo?
yeah. No, Vince Russo, he's pretty knowledgeable.
I like listening to his commentary.
The
Cornette, Heyman,
other guy,
Pritchard, Bruce Pritchard.
The guy with the big handlebar mustache.
Zeb Coulter.
Zeb Coulter. He played Zeb Coulter, but he was
I don't remember
famous.
his real name.
He's a famous wrestler in the Memphis territory with Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
Jerry.
You remember when
Jerry
he
Lawler
was in WWE a few years ago? It was probably like 10 years ago. He was a manager for that Olympic guy.
Yeah. From Oklahoma, yeah, the tall blonde.
And it was him and Cesaro. They were a tag team, and they were called the Real Americans. And Zeb Coulter would come out and it would say, "We the people."
Well, he was trying to be right with, like Bob Backlund was doing.
But they won't even do that these days because they don't want to be. They don't want to get political. They're so pussy.
Remember when Bob Backlund had the red bow tie?
He was saying he was running for president, right?
Yeah, he was a Republican.
Yeah, like that stuff was funny. They won't do that now. They won't touch it with a 3-foot pole. They used to have Donald Trump come on, and he was fighting Vince McMahon. No.
Who played Zeb Coulter on the WWE Pro Wrestling? Dutch Mantel.
Yeah,
that's the wrestler from the Memphis territory.
Yeah, he's good. I like, and he does the show with that British guy. I don't know if they still do it.
That British guy, the British guy used to do it with Don Morocco, but Don Morocco was slurring. His speech was very slurry.
So he replaced him.
And the problem is, because what happened was, it's not necessarily that he was slurring the speech. There was a time difference problem because the British guy is in the UK and Don Morocco lives in Hawaii.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with Dutch, right? He's in the US.
So, well, Dutch is in the US.
He might not be in Hawaii, but he's still hours away.
Like the UK is 5 hours ahead of us.
I think it's 6 hours.
Okay.
I thought it was 6 hours.
California.
So California's 3 hours ahead or after us. So that's 9 hours.
Jordy says it's 5. Jordy says it's 5.
Okay, if that's what he says, okay.
And then, all right, California is 3 hours. So, and then Hawaii is probably another 3 hours
from California. It might be even more than that.
So, it's like trying to do a show with somebody in Australia.
If you have good internet, it shouldn't really be a problem.
Like I was trying to. No, they might be sleeping. That's the problem.
Oh, okay.
Like in other words, I know this guy for years. He's an Aboriginal person
Australia?
From the outback, and he lives outside of Perth. So for him to come on my show. There was always a conflict in the time difference.
A pretty big conflict. The Booze Hounds, they have a guy who's from Australia, and they had him come on. Like he would hang out with them. Do you know who I'm talking about? Have you ever seen him?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Jack Swagger, that was his name. They made Jack Swagger go out of character
To apologize
to
for Coulter?
apologize for
Like
Coulter.
on a wrestling show or like a podcast or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
don't. I'm not sure what Dad was talking about.
yeah, and then Coulter was coming out in a
He
wheelchair for
was,
some
yeah,
reason.
yeah, yeah. That was
It was he. What was he?
that was
Raymond
when like
Burr?
wrestling was getting stupid, but it was still somewhat interesting.
What is he? Ironside,
Yeah,
played by Raymond
like
Burr. He's coming out in a
it still
wheelchair.
had some quality to it. Like they were still doing some good stuff. Those were like the dying days of.
Yeah, and also a guy from Russia goes on Ronald Theriot show once in a big
Yeah,
while. There's
the
a
guy
Russian
the guy he
guy
brings the
from Russia.
Budweiser on, right? He brings the Russian Budweiser.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. He actually
WWE.
so he has like there's a story where Budweiser was like originally made in the Czech Republic because there's a city
Called
called
Budweiser.
Budweiser. Yeah,
Do you know that is the city where European beer, because I'm not saying they didn't make beer. I heard they made beer in
yeah,
ancient
yeah, yeah.
Egyptians. So the European beer, the birth of European beer was Budweiser,
I
Czechoslovakia.
didn't know it was a bird. No, I didn't know it. And this guy comes on Ron's show sometimes, and he has the Budweiser can, the big one, and it just says Bud. It doesn't say
I don't,
Budweiser.
that might have been the Austria-Hungary Empire. I don't think it was Czechoslovakia.
Czechoslovakia was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire before it became a country.
Like the
It's
city
Bohemia.
of Prague.
It's
The
historically it was called Bohemia.
The city of Prague is their capital, and Prague is an ancient city.
That area of Germany, it was called Bohemia, the Kingdom of Bohemia. Then eventually it was under the sway of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. Then when that fell, it became Czechoslovakia. And then when communism fell, it became the Czech Republic, which that's what it's called today.
The women are very
Oh, yeah,
beautiful.
I
The
know.
Slavic,
They really are.
they really
And
are.
there's a lot of
Seriously.
them here. It's interesting. A lot of in my apartment complex. Yeah.
Really? I mean, not just the
From
long
like,
legs and the height, but the
from
face,
Russia,
the eyes.
a lot from Russia, Albania, and
They
Serbia.
They got full lips. I mean, for white girls, they got
Yeah,
the lips.
I'm telling
they
you,
got
I know,
everything, the hair.
I know. It's around this area. They're around.
There was in one of the stores I shop at, the front end manager. She was very friendly all the time. She was Romanian. She was from Romania. She was pretty, older woman, very pretty. Where is he? Oh, you opened up the curtains. There's a lot of noise out there, man. People are really noisy on a Saturday night. Rat bastards. Zeb Coulter. Yeah, I wonder what the deal was with the wheelchair. Oh, fuck the fans. Freddie Blassie, God rest his soul, he used to say, I never cared for the fans. Fuck them. Well, back in the territory days, it was dangerous to be a heel because a lot of those wrestlers, they got stabbed, they got bottles thrown at them, and God knows what. I mean, really, it was very violent. Insulted the fans. Fuck them. Too damn bad, those pencil neck geeks. If you're going to be a heel, be a heel. You're not a baby face. You're a heel. people to put bodies in the seats. People have to love to hate you, like the Iron Sheik. They love to hate him. Now, what happened was with superstar Billy Graham, they didn't like love to hate him. He was one of the very few heels that the fans actually loved because he had so much pizzazz and charisma, and he had the look. I'm sure if he didn't have that look, with the jacked up with the muscles and the tie-dye shirts, I mean, that used to really be funny. When the Grand Wizard of Wrestling was trying to take off his tie-dye T-shirt, and he was making believe he couldn't get it past his arm because his arm was too big. That was really funny. Oh man. I'm looking at the floor. I think I'm gonna have to vacuum. I'm gonna have to vacuum tomorrow. I should have vacuumed today. All right. We're still a little light with the viewers. It's probably because of the football games. Let's see. What do we got here? Yeah, I'm live stream right now. You're absolutely right. We were just talking about Tony Khan, the dork geek mark in AEW, running a very crazy, amateurish, chaotic, stupid show with stupid storyline. I was
talking about wrestling?
Yeah, I was chatting with Daryl about how it was so damn entertaining back in the day when the Grand Wizard of Wrestling.
See, that's before my time, but I hear you.
The Grand Wizard of Wrestling managed superstar Billy Graham.
Yeah.
Billy Graham was a heel, but it turned out that the fans loved him. Usually a really good heel, they love to hate
Billy
you.
Graham.
They love to hate you, but Billy Graham, they loved him because he had so much pizzazz and charisma, and he had the look, the tie-dye T-shirt. So the Grand Wizard used to, when he pulled his tie-dye T-shirt off for him, he made believe he couldn't get past his arm because his arm was too big. But that was an act. He was like,
you're a real fan for many years, because there's not too many people you meet that will say that they were fans before the Hulkamania era.
Yeah, but they were freaking. I'm telling you, Ronnie, they were funny as hell. The interviews.
Yeah, I've seen clips, but everybody was out of shape. They all had beer bellies.
Well, a lot of them, yeah, but no.
Until superstar Billy Graham came around, and it was because of all the steroids that he was taking.
Tony Atlas.
But Bob Backlund wasn't really that well put together.
Yeah, but he was real strong.
He was strong, but he didn't really have a physique.
No,
he wasn't a bodybuilder.
He was a naturally powerful guy. The guy.
But, superstar Billy Graham, he created what wrestling became in the 80s with the steroids and the bodybuilder type and all the promos, because everybody copied his promos.
And the muscular definition.
Jesse Ventura, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, just to name 3, all took their cues from superstar Billy Graham. And I was telling you when I was watching that documentary on the guy, it's like crazy how he actually had full lines of his promos were
Well,
stolen by Hulk Hogan.
Gorgeous George Wagner was the first bleach blonde in pro wrestling back in the 1940s, and he used to piss. He had ways of pissing everybody off as a heel, and
Did you ever see him like on a show, or you just know about him historically?
no,
My,
I've seen videos of his matches.
my grandfather used to tell me that he watched Gorgeous George back in the day.
He had
He remembered,
Gorgeous George would grow his hair long, dye it blonde, and get a
and
perm.
he came out with a mirror, right? He walked down
Yeah,
the
with a
aisle with a mirror.
and his valet had like a bug killer spray with perfume,
Yeah.
and he had a perfume. The whole his opponents stunk and was slimy. He had a perfume everything.
And then in WCW, Randy Savage came out with a new valet after he divorced Miss Elizabeth, and her name was Gorgeous George.
And she was really pretty.
She was smoking hot.
She was really
He met her at a strip club in Tampa. That's
yes,
where you met her.
yes. Oh, by the way, Gorgeous George had golden bobby pins in his hair, and
I had when I was a kid.
he used to throw. Let me finish. He used to throw them out to the fans. Gold. He called them Georgie pins. Anyway, go ahead.
When I was a kid, I had a big poster of Gorgeous George, the female, above my bed.
She really was that hot.
And it was right next to the poster of Sable.
She beat Sable. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, but she was younger. She was like 10 years younger.
Yeah, she was like
She was so she was from a strip club in Tampa.
in Tampa. Huh?
That's where Randy Savage picked her up at. And Sable grew up in Jacksonville. So they were both from Florida.
Really? And yeah, because
Bleach blonde.
yeah, she was married to Mark Merrow. Sable was
She was
married,
married to Mark Merrow.
who was Johnny B. Bad, and
Her name was Rena Merrow.
he was Dusty Rhodes is the one that made Mark Merrow dress like Little Richard, with the makeup and everything and the eyeliner, and he didn't like it. He hated that. It was Dusty Rhodes that
Johnny B. Bad in WCW.
yeah, but Johnny B. Bad was a great character.
And then he went to the WWF and he was Wild Man Mark Merrow originally.
Mark,
He came out with Sable. And then they changed his gimmick to Marvelous Mark Merrow, and he was he had a boxer gimmick.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
He wasn't a Wild Man anymore, but he was still a Sable. And then he started like getting jealous that Sable was getting the spotlight, and like so when they walked down the aisle, Sable would walk out first, and then he would be behind Sable. And then, so he started getting jealous and shit. This is how
well,
the storyline was.
they had a thing for Sable.
Yeah, Vince McMahon and Vince Russo.
Had a thing
Vince
for Sable.
Russo at the time was their head booker. They were infatuated. And so they pushed her to the moon, and then she eventually she quit, and she sued them for millions of dollars. She sued the WWF for millions of dollars. It was settled out of court, and so it's never been said how much money she got from them or whatever it was. That was in 1999 to like 2000. Then in 2003, she came back to the WWE, and she came back as like so obviously right, Vince McMahon, like, he got sued from by her. He was pissed off. I don't know why she came back. Maybe she needed the money or something. But on the programming, they made her into like this huge slut, and she would be like just doing extremely slutty things all the time.
Well, that's her punishment from Vince.
That was her punishment. Yeah, exactly. And
Just
then eventually on camera, she became Vince's like little whore.
yeah, just like
So that they would be like getting together backstage, kissing and shit, and then he would be kissing her in front of Linda McMahon.
right,
Because
and then Trish Stratus became
that
Vince.
was before Sable though. Trish Stratus was doing it like in 2001, and then 2003 was when Sable was doing it. So yeah,
Vince's little whore, and then
Vince did it with a bunch of the different girls though.
Vince also punished, if you notice, with Gold Dusts and Stardust, and even their father, Dusty Rhodes, with the polka dots.
Yeah,
Yeah, he made a joke out of the whole family,
yeah.
and
Yeah, but then eventually Cody Rhodes, I guess, came back and got some revenge.
well, Cody Rhodes
Originally, he was
told him,
Stardust. They made him like this stupid Stardust guy, and then he left and he went to AEW, right?
he was instrumental in the creation of AEW.
See, at least like it was a little bit interesting even back, like 5 years ago. But even all that stuff
was
has
good.
gone out the window. None of it's interesting anymore.
And then I know TNA and AEW had Jeff Jarrett.
Oh,
whose
I
father was
always liked Jeff Jarrett.
his father was a
Yeah,
promoter. Of
Jerry Jarrett was his father.
Jerry Jarrett was a big time promoter in the what is Smoky Mountain Wrestling or something
No,
like
it
that.
was in Texas. One of the ones in Texas. But I always liked Jeff Jarrett when he went to WCW, and he would call everybody slap nuts. He would say, choke on that, slap nuts.
Yeah, everybody was
And
slap
he hit
nuts,
everybody
and
with
then,
a guitar all the time. He was always hitting. And then he went to TNA and he did the same thing because he was an owner in TNA, so he booked himself.
Well, he got that from Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk Man used to hit people with
But
guitars.
Honky Tonk Man didn't call people slap nuts.
No, Honky Tonk Man, who held the Intercontinental belt for a very long time.
He was friends with Hulk Hogan, right? Like backstage friends.
He was originally a popular wrestler from from Jerry Lawler from Tennessee, and he traveled the territories, but he was popular in that area of Tennessee under his real name, and then I think, I don't know if it was Hogan that he tells the story on
He was
YouTube.
friends with Hogan. Honky Tonk Man and Hogan were pretty tight. Backstage, I'm saying. Anyway, enough. I guess it's enough with the wrestling talk.
Yeah, well, it's interesting when they're interviewed on YouTube and they tell the story of how they got their gimmick.
But it makes me sad when you try to turn on Raw or SmackDown and what we get today, it's just the dribbling shits.
Yeah, there's a lot going on
it
by you.
Is it too much for you?
See, when
so I think I wouldn't even be able to join one of Ron's shows, for example, because he's very particular about background noise, and I don't think he would deal with it.
And he's very particular about sticking to the theme.
That's fine. So if you get
you can't go off. You can't go. It's not open topic with Ronald Terry.
Oh, it's got to be about the beer. Yeah.
It's got to be, but it's got to be. It's rigidly about the theme.
But I've noticed lately that he's doing it a lot of wild card shows, or he calls it wild card. What does Eric call it? Wild something.
Wild Card Wednesday and
Ron calls it Joker's Wild.
Joker's Wild.
So I've noticed that he's doing a lot more of those shows where he's not doing a specific type of beer anymore.
He was throwing tortillas. That's funny.
Oh yeah. He was drunk when he was doing that. Jeff Jarrett had a drinking problem, and when he went to Mexico and he was doing that was when they they took him backstage and they did an intervention with him, and they got him clean. He went.
His wife is.
He went to rehab.
His wife is attractive.
That's
Jarrett's
Kurt
wife.
Angle's ex, right? Karen Jarrett. Used to be
Yep.
Karen Angle. Yeah.
Kurt Angle's.
She's very hot.
Now, what I wanted to say is when the Honky Tonk Man decided to be the Honky Tonk Man, at that time the Elvis impersonators were a fad. They were popular, and there were a lot of people doing Elvis Presley impersonations. And that's when wrestling. A lot of the gimmicks are tied into mainstream media. Whatever's going on in the mainstream media. Like when the Iron Sheik came back to the WWF, it was the Iran hostage crisis. So there's always a tie-in between.
It was the Persian Gulf War, the first one.
Persian Gulf War.
Yeah, it was like 1990. The Iran. The Iran hostage crisis was in the early 80s.
The Iron Sheik.
The Iron Sheik came back.
The Iron Sheik came during the 1980s. He was big in the 1980s with the Ayatollah Freddie Blassie.
You sure?
Yes, it was the 1980s because Hogan had.
What about when he became Colonel Mustafa?
It was actually. Wait a minute, Bob Backlund. It was back when Bob Backlund still had the belt. No, that's way in the future. Colonel Mustafa is like when Sergeant Slaughter turned heel.
Mm-hmm.
No, this was like Bob Backlund had the title. Hogan didn't get the title yet.
Hogan got it in '84. He beat
Iron
the Sheik, but by '84 the hostage crisis was long over. I don't know. It's whatever.
In early when Backlund lost to the Iron Sheik. Before that, when they brought Iron Sheik back under Freddie Blassie, dressed like the Ayatollah, or dressed in an Arab outfit, he was the Ayatollah Fred Blassie, and they had the Iranian flag with the Ayatollah's image in the middle. Mm. That was when Backlund still had the title, and that's when they had the feud.
So they would never do a storyline like that these days, right?
No, they're afraid of offending
they're too
people
pussy now. They suck. They never do anything about politics. They never do anything with making women sexy anymore. They're so scared of people complaining on the internet. It sucks. It fucking sucks. It's all about guys just jumping around. They call it flippity dippity shit. It's very athletic.
Yeah, they're into cruiserweights.
Cruiserweights used to be like the losers of they were kind of interesting, but they would be like the first match, and then you move on to the bigger guys.
But the cruiserweights used to fight for the cruiserweight title. Yeah. In other words, you used to have the big boys.
Right. There was a heavyweight title, and it was called heavyweight for a reason. They don't even call it heavyweight anymore. They just call it the WWE Championship.
Yeah, or the world champion. Yeah, they don't use heavyweight.
To sum up the conversation, it sucks. Wrestling sucks. It's not worth watching anymore.
I'm not ready to sum it up.
Put a ribbon on this thing. Let's be done with it.
They become like you said, woke, politically correct. They're afraid of offending people. The guys are more like twinkle toes, effeminate. the storylines are dumb. The interviewing is boring and stupid, and they're very petty. The girls do promos like they're high school girls arguing. Like it's very immature. It's just there's no comparison with the way it was in the past. Yeah, you're right. We used to go on, and it was very entertaining. Uh, People are not funny on the show anymore. No, I was the only one that cracked jokes.
Oh, you're
And
talking about Ron's. So what is this?
Ron show. Yeah,
I used to crack jokes sometimes.
Yeah, it was.
But he says he
now
liked it
it's
better 4 years ago when you had guys who were on with Jean Pierre. Well, Jean Pierre still joins. Jean Pierre's still
yeah,
around.
but it's very rigid. They stick to the topic.
No, I mean I think they're fine. They have that guy Claude. He tries to joke around a lot.
Oh yeah, him.
I don't
Claude,
think it's that bad. I would join. It's just I don't know. I've kind of lost interest.
I never said it was boring. It's just that I'm just answering Daryl. The
It
reason
was
why
more
I stopped.
fun years ago. It was.
The reason why I stopped going on is because I couldn't find in my area. I couldn't find any new products to bring, and I refused to bring the same product twice because I did that on Eric's show, and they all like busted my balls about it. Oh, you
It's
already
a different
reviewed
show,
that.
a different crowds. You can't compare them.
You know,
I don't think Ron would do the same thing.
they would bust my chops. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to drive far and worry about getting a new product every fucking
And you don't
time
have
I
a
go
car,
on.
right?
No, even if I had a car, the liquor stores like Total Wine is kind of out of my way right now. Now, if we had a Total Wine nearby, that'd be a different story. Then I can go like when I lived in Lodi, the liquor store by me, Home Liquors, the whole front of the liquor store was airline bottles. They had shelves and shelves of the small bottles. You think I'm gonna spend all that money on a big fucking bottle of hard liquor just to do somebody's show that I don't get paid to do? Why should I spend every fucking week that much money on a big bottle of hard liquor? So I used to bring the airline bottles, but that was then. I had my car. I was near that Home Liquors. There was a big Polish community. The next town over, they had so many vodkas. They had so many brands of vodka.
So what happened with your car?
Flash flood. I had water higher than my door, and the engine sucked in the water, and the insurance company didn't want to give me enough money to get a decent replacement. That was that.
It was just a
Now
random flash flood. That's not Hurricane Sandy, right?
No. It's now the cars are astronomically expensive. I can't afford it.
Yeah, they are.
Uh, Call the shirt salesman. Yeah, if I called the shirt salesman, Ronnie and myself wouldn't have a chance to speak. He would totally take over the show.
Women never come
Do
on.
any women?
Well, there used to be that
Well,
one German woman, right?
Yeah, but she's very opinionated.
She was interesting.
And
She was
yeah,
good
it's
for
her
a while,
way.
right?
Yeah, but it's her way of the hot. She became very
She
opinionated.
used to yell a lot, but I don't think it was the same as Paul, because Paul's just a lunatic. But she used to yell, I think because maybe she couldn't hear that good or something.
See, Paul, maybe she's hard
Yeah,
of
it might have
hearing,
been
but
that.
Paul, or maybe she needs earwax removal. That happens if you get older.
Yeah.
The thing with Paul is he fucking forgets the fact that I'm the host of this show. It's my show.
Mhm.
And he comes on and he takes over, lock, stock, and barrel.
He does.
Now, any women come? You want
Give
want
him a call.
hooch-
Let's see what Paul's up to for the hell of
hooches?
it.
You want hooches on the show, Gunner? Why don't you send some hooches over?
That's not Gunner.
Come
That's Sid. That's most definitely Sid.
No, he's criticizing the show because only Sid used to criticize the show.
The crew was much better back then. I agree.
Thank you.
No, he's talking about Ron's show.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's because I had access to the airline bottles.
I used to join a lot too. I just got bored with it. And it's no offense to Ron's show. I mean, I respect the guy.
Well, it wears
The
itself
whole
out.
thing just got boring. The whole beer reviewing thing got very boring.
What can I possibly say about a whiskey, a tequila, a rum?
Yeah.
What can you say
And
about it?
the whole point of the show is it's very rigid, right? And they what I never liked was they put your face like on full screen. I hate that. Because I just don't have that much to say about it.
Hold on, this guy is starting to piss me off.
So block him.
Never drive your car through water. Well, you don't know what happened. You don't know the circumstances. And the circumstances is it was raining so hard that the visibility was zero. I couldn't see in front of my windshield. And there were only 2 cops on duty in this particular town of Saddlebrook, New Jersey, and they didn't have a chance to close the road. And I couldn't see where I was going. And I turned to head towards a highway to get back here to where I live. And within seconds, I was in water. So naturally, if I see the fucking water, I'm not going to drive into it. All right? Yeah, sometimes I can't get a word in with Ron. You know, I'm trying to tell old wrestling stories of how funny it was. There was a during the TV taping, Captain Lou Albano was managing the Don Morocco at the time. And Lou Albano was walking around the outside of the ring eating a meatball Parmesan sandwich. He's eating a meatball sandwich. And one of the meatballs fell on the floor and Lou Albano slipped on it. And he went flying. And Vince McMahon says it. He says, he's disgusting, that fat slob. I mean, that was funny. And then another time, he managed the masked executioners, who was really Killer Kowalski and Chuck O'Connor, who was Big John Studd. And I was telling him the story about when Captain Lou Albano managed Don Morocco, and he was eating a meatball sandwich, walking around outside the ring eating a meatball sandwich. The meatball fell out. He slipped on it. He went flying, and Vince McMahon says, "That's disgusting, that fat slob." That was funny. Yeah. And then the masked executioners, Lou Albano had a third executioner hidden under the ring, and he would sneak one under the rest and take the other one out. I mean, there was a lot of fun.
Now, you never watched wrestling during the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression Era?
No, I watched because Vince McMahon.
So you like WCW? Well, when WCW was bought out by Vince McMahon, what did you watch then? Like in 2002, 2003?
TNA.
You watched TNA, so you refused to watch WWE?
Yeah, because I don't like the obnoxious screaming and yelling, and the control freak way Vince was running the company. You know, like do it my way or else.
I liked it.
You know? No, I don't like authoritarian figures.
I liked it a lot.
That's why I don't like the Trump
They never
administration. I
had
don't,
bra and panties matches on WCW, did they?
they had something stupid called a pillow fight.
Yeah, that was good. The lingerie
Yeah,
pillow fights. Christy
now,
Hemme and Candice Michelle.
now Dixie Carter didn't know a damn thing about the business. Her father was richer than Vince.
All right,
Her,
let's
father
get done with this wrestling talk.
owned TNA.
I don't want to talk about
I
wrestling
thought you-
anymore.
I thought you liked wrestling.
I do, but I told you I'm sad that it sucks now, and we're just talking about nostalgia.
Let's
It's kinda
switch
sad.
to let's switch to Red
Let's talk about
Pill.
politics. Let's get juicy.
No, politics is there's a right wing extremist fascist regime trying to destroy the Constitution, democracy, the First Amendment,
Mm-hmm.
and that is basically what's happening. And I think that there's going to be more revolts. The protests are not going to be peaceful. There might be, who knows? There might be a civil war someday.
Yep. Yeah, this is good stuff. Fuck
I like.
wrestling.
I think the idea of taking out right wing capitalists is better than sex with a harem of swimsuit models.
Take them out.
Having them.
What's
be
going on with
destroyed.
Luigi's trial? How's that going?
Oh, Luigi's my hero.
How's the trial going? I know he's your hero.
I
I
don't
know
know.
he's been in court, right?
Maybe the super volcano at Yellowstone will blow and take out all those red states.
Mhm. Maybe, but I want to see what happens with Luigi.
Now, let me play.
He's getting his day
Tarantella
in court.
in honor of Luigi. Luigi, you know what Luigi should have done? Instead of stand out on the sidewalk where everybody can see him, including cameras, Luigi should have used his
I
head.
think he wanted to get caught.
Yeah, but so that's why he was like point blank.
Yeah, he wanted to get caught, and that's he's. If you see him in the courtroom, he's all smiles. He likes the attention.
Because trained snipers are smart.
Now, you don't think he's a narcissist, right?
They don't. He might be, but they don't. They don't.
You know, there was
They don't-
girls buying Luigi underwear. They said, "I love Luigi."
You know, there
He has a
there
lot
are
of female fans.
there are groupies who are into guys in prison. Like
Oh
criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the thing about women. There's a set of groupies for everything.
Oh yeah.
There's
The thing
There's
about women
groupies.
is they're very stupid.
they like. You ever hear of the groupies that love firemen? And there's
For
groupies.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, like with pro wrestling, they call them ring rats.
Yeah. Jerry
They're-
Lawler had
they're-
a bunch of underage ring rats.
Yeah, they're sluts. They're literally like like the girls.
The same thing
who are
with the
sluts.
rock and roll. You don't hear about guys doing shit like that. It's a female.
No, guys don't do that. Heavy metal rock stars like those dumbass Heather Locklear and Valerie Bertinelli. To get Marion, the rock stars, they look like. First of all, they're scrawny.
What are you
and,
talking about? The female rock stars?
I'm talking. No, heavy metal male rock stars. They get a lot of groups.
Yeah, no, they're scrawny. They're it's
They're
not how they
fucking-
look. It's what they
They
are
got
to
the-
society. That's what
They got the long, fucking straggly
yeah.
hair that looks like it hasn't been washed
They
with
like
shampoo.
that shit. I love it.
They got
I don't know. Maybe
sometimes
not
they
so
got-
much these days.
sometimes they got
Maybe
tattoos.
not so
but,
much these days because things have been really
girls-
cleaned up.
women that are generally No, I take that back. I'm not gonna just blame younger generation women, because
Mm.
I have seen lots of middle-aged women that
What do
try
you
to turn
what do
back.
you think the hippies were? The hippies today are like 80 years old. So
You know
that's
what? You
definitely
know what
not
I used
younger
to.
women. But with the problem, James, I'll tell
We
you.
used to go.
Let me tell you actually. Let me tell you. The hippies that are 80 years old today, 70 years old, are the ones who educated the the women of the younger generations, like my generation. They learned from these hippie fucking feminist bitches, and
So
that's
the
where they
fem,
got all their ideas from.
so the hippie feminist bitches taught their daughters and
Their daughters, but not
granddaughters
just
to.
their daughters, they became educators and they taught it in the schools.
I'm talking about putting ideas in their head
I'm
to be
talking
gold
about putting
diggers.
ideas in their head. I'm talking about it too.
Gold digger. Well, let me say something here. Jesus Christ Almighty. I
You
mean,
can
come
talk,
on.
James, but I'm going to talk too.
Yeah,
We
but
talk
don't
together.
try. Don't keep. But yeah, but you keep cutting
I
me
didn't cut you
off.
off.
I said they taught their daughters and granddaughters to be gold diggers and use men for money and look for men with money and just exploiting guys,
It's worse than
wanting
that.
them
It's
and
worse than that.
what's worse than a guy emptying his bank
It's
account out for some
worse than
broad?
them
Just
teaching them to be gold
what,
diggers. They're
what,
teaching them
what's
to
worse?
be hippy dippy girl boss. Like I can go out and do it all by myself, and I'm
Are
gonna
you
be like the
talking
CEO of the company. I don't need a man. I'm gonna get a bunch of abortions. I don't need any kids. That's worse than a woman that's a gold digger.
Look, well, I don't mind. I don't mind a career woman paying for half the bills. What I do mind is that traditional crap where I gotta be a fucking jackass provider
You
and I
don't
gotta pay
have
for it.
to. If you want to be like single and not get married, you don't have to do
I
anything.
don't want to. I don't want to be a breadwinner. I think a breadwinner is a sucker.
So
I don't
you
want
don't
to
want to
pay.
be married and you don't want to have kids,
No,
and that's what you are.
because I want the woman to pay for half the
So
bills.
that's fine. That's your lot in life. That's what you chose.
No, my lot is not to be a sucker, not to be
That's what you
like a,
chose. That's where you're at.
what do they call them, beta simp.
That's where you're
You
at.
know,
You're good with that. You don't have any children. You don't have a wife.
but I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the feminists making women independent where they don't need a
They
man
skip their child
and
rearing years to go to college and then they get a job, right? When they're also taking jobs away from men because now men, when they graduate college, have to compete with women when they never had to do that before.
all the female coworkers that I've ever had, they all flag me over to help them do stuff.
They're very
Well,
stupid. They're not. I mean, not all of them. Some of them are smart, but
what are they getting paid for?
yeah,
What are they getting paid for? You get paid to do a
they're
fucking
getting
job.
paid to look hot a lot of times. But even that's gone out the window. So now they're like you got these blue haired lesbians and like that's just very annoying. Um,
You know what else the feminists did? You can't compliment like a woman that
no,
works in
you
the
can't.
office or ask her to lunch or dinner or something. They'll go to human resources and get you
But you know
fired.
what? So I know you're like very against feminism, but
I am.
what you're not getting is that feminism. You are yourself. Your views is a result of feminism because feminism is what took the woman out of the kitchen and put her in the workplace. So by you not wanting her to be in the kitchen and you not wanting to pay for her to be there, You are
Right.
becoming a product of the feminists. That's what they want you to be.
What you're talking about is a homemaker.
Mm-hmm. You
A
don't like
woman.
that. You don't like homemakers.
You're talking about June
You
Cleaver.
don't like homemakers.
The Beaver. A homemaker is a woman who doesn't work. She takes
She
care of the
does
house.
work though. She does very important things. She cooks. I mean, the husband comes home, and
Well, she pays.
the husband comes home and he can put his feet up, and he's got a meal laid out for him.
That's if she's a good
Well,
wife,
of
a
course,
good homemaker.
that's her job though. That's the homemaker job.
You know, she helps pay the bills.
She doesn't help pay the
You know,
bills, or okay, she writes the checks. That's what you're saying.
I mean, she goes through the
Sure. And
motion.
she takes care of the kids.
She goes shopping. She does laundry.
Yep,
which
yeah,
my-
all that stuff.
My,
It's very those
my
are very important things.
my sister-in-law is worse. She's a
So
homemaker.
that's
that
a
doesn't-
problem.
She's a homemaker that doesn't do anything.
She's not holding up her end of the deal, and that's not a real homemaker. That's not making a home.
And you know whose fault it is?
It's the guy.
My brother. My brother is the one who allowed it all to happen.
Yeah,
So-
no, that's not the way it's supposed to be. No,
You know, I mean, yeah, you're right. She does work. If she's a true homemaker and she's a devoted
Mhm.
and she's a devoted woman.
It's a real job. It's a real job. They
She
put that
cooks.
on the tax return when it says occupation. Homemaker is a real occupation.
And she doesn't just make dinner. She makes fucking breakfast. And she makes lunch. And she packs her
That's
husband's
what the home is. That's making the home.
and she packs her husband's lunchbox.
Sure.
Lunchbox. And she might bake a pound cake every now
See,
and
now
then. or a
this is
pie.
seen as like, oh, this is 1950s. It's too old fashioned. Fuck you. You know, and the feminists were the ones that threw that all out the window.
Yeah, but you know what? Back then, when homemakers were popular, guess what? The job market and the economy
was better.
was a hell of a lot.
It was.
And a man could work for one company
No,
his
you're
whole
right.
life.
I agree with that. That's true. I get you.
And he had a secure
I
full-time
understand.
job. Okay,
I
so
understand.
he was able to pay the mortgage
Yeah.
off, support his wife,
And the kids.
have a couple, whatever, however, one or two kids
I
within reason.
understand. It was easier.
Not
It was
have-
easier back then.
Not have 7 or 8 kids like that.
You can.
That nut,
You can.
like that nut Mel Gibson. You know, where he's probably got
My mom and dad had 5 kids.
Okay, that's quite a bit. That's a lot. So anyway, but the husband, the sole breadwinner, was able to pay
They work
and
at a
support
factory job. You know, and
And-
yeah.
but they took good care of him at work. He obviously made
It was a lot easier back in the day.
adequate living. The cost of living was lower.
Uh-huh.
You go to the grocery store today, you spend $100 on groceries.
I understand.
Got a little bit of
But-
groceries. You
but-
don't have
It's not impossible. You can do it today. You can do it, and you can do it if you're willing to do it. Both
how are you going to do it
both
today?
man and wife need to be on the same page, and you can most definitely can do it, but you have to cut back. You don't go out to eat all the time. Me and my wife are constantly going out to eat.
Not with the cost of living.
Now
today.
you can do
No
it.
way.
You got to make some sacrifices. Yeah,
You know how much money a dude's got to make today?
you can do it, James. I mean, you can't just say things
How
are
is that
impossible. You can't say that.
No, because you're defending the people in Washington. They have failed you. $2,500 a month rent.
You can't
Come on,
look to
give
the
me a
people
break.
in Washington to run your life.
2,000
You,
fucking
you
dollars
gotta
a
look
month.
to God
How
to
you
run
gonna-
your life,
you-
not the people in
you took-
Washington.
Utilities. You got car insurance. You got
I
kids.
told you,
you
it's
got-
not
you
as
got-
easy as the
you-
1950s, but it's not
How you know
impossible.
how much?
It's not impossible.
How is the job market that good that many men in America can make?
Possible. It's
What are you
hard
gonna do?
though. It's hard.
Well, if you print counterfeit money,
What
yeah,
What do you
how are you
think
going
the Federal Reserve does? It prints counterfeit money every day.
how are you going to pay for the
I
astronomical
just
high cost
answered
of
you.
living?
You didn't say anything.
How?
You didn't say anything to
Rob
what
a
I
bank.
just said. The Federal Reserve prints counterfeit money every single day.
How can a man be take care of a home with his wife staying home
Hey,
today
people do
in
it.
2000?
It happened.
Yeah, people do it because they're one of the few that makes big bucks.
Yeah.
They're one of the few that makes big bucks. How many people make big bucks like that could do this?
All right, so I'm going to tell you. My brother, he gets a lot of help from his in-laws, but he owns a house. He works from home. He has 2 kids, and his wife doesn't work. Now, he gets a lot of help from his in-laws.
What's his skill? He's got a career, right?
He doesn't really. He never went to college. He got in. He got in with his in-laws' company.
Well, he's got a
He
leprechaun
got
helping
in
him.
with his in-laws' company, so they gave him a job. Right. So he married. The right girl. He made good connections.
Well, the girl's a homemaker. He's not helping him pay the
But he
living
got
expenses.
in with her family. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. And they're self-employed. They have a business.
Something like that. Yeah. I don't exactly know what it is, but he works for JD Power and Associates. No, definitely not a Jew. No, not at all.
No, I wasn't doing Joe's. That means riffraff. That means ill-gotten gains.
No, I didn't think it's that. It's just they have a family business and they let him in on it.
All right. Okay. That always clears my
You know
sinuses.
what JD Power and Associates is? You heard of that?
I've heard.
So he works for them. He works for like an affiliate though. It's New York based. Um, he does that. So that's just one example, right?
But this is not the average
Just one example. Yeah,
American man.
and he's not living like high off the hog or anything. They got a very modest home. It's not
They live on a budget.
it's not in a very nice neighborhood. They live over there in the east coast of Florida. It's not that nice. It's a little bit north of Orlando. They got the house for like less than 200 grand. So they're not living extra.
That's a lot for Florida.
No, it's not.
You know
No,
what?
no,
Florida,
no. It's, you have
Florida,
you're talking about Florida from back in the day. Florida
used to be
after 2020,
Florida.
the
Rip off,
prices have
thanks
gone up.
to your capitalist.
The prices have
freaking
skyrocketed after 2020.
That's gouging. That's price gouging.
Sure, but that's what
Florida,
the housing market is, though.
200 grand. Well, look at my friend in Jacksonville. He's paying over 2,000 rent. Who in their right mind
This all
would
happened
wanna
after 2020 because everybody moved here.
would want?
It wasn't
there's
like
too
that
many
before
people.
that. It wasn't like that
There's
before
too
that.
There's so many people moving in Florida. Everybody wants to go.
People. Way too many people.
We're gonna move to Florida. We're gonna move to Florida. Everybody all in the Midwest.
I know. I moved here before 2020. I'm not part of that COVID mania. I moved here in 2019.
All these fucking New Yorkers and New Jerseyites. Hey, we're gonna go to Florida. We're gonna go to Florida. They're all moving.
People always did. They always did it, but they waited until they were older, retired.
It's congested. It's very, very congested.
But it's still a beautiful state. I mean, I'm sitting outside here in my shorts and t-shirt on the balcony.
Yeah, and then you go, oh, help me, and then all of a sudden your condo goes into a sinkhole.
Nah, I mean, if you're gonna just talk shit about Florida, that's fine. But
no, it's true. Well, you got to really have the land inspected. But you know what? Your real estate industry down there, which they just keep building.
That's a major problem. That's a major problem. They keep building. There's a guy running for governor. So DeSantis is out after this year. He's term limited. But there is a guy running for governor on the Republican side who is against all the development. He's against the AI data centers being put in. His name is James Fishback. he doesn't get a lot of media attention because Trump has already picked who he wants, to be the governor. His name is Byron Donalds. He's a black guy.
Because Trump wants total control.
And this guy Byron Donalds. He's just like he was in. He's a congressman. He's a big Trump supporter.
So
But he's done
Donald,
nothing. He's done nothing for the state of Florida though. He hasn't worked with
that's why
DeSantis.
That's why Donald Trump picked him.
His last name is Donalds. Yeah. and so it's like a lot. I don't support the guy myself. I don't really see any reason to vote for him just because Donald Trump endorsed him. But there's a lot of people who will just take that and say, oh, Trump endorsed him, so I'm gonna vote for him. But I mean, it's not really the way to do it.
Is there any solid Democratic candidates coming out of South Florida?
No, there's no solid Democrats. There's the one guy who is a former Republican who switched over to be a Democrat. He's not being taken seriously. His name is David Jolly, and he's gonna go nowhere. He's gonna go nowhere.
I have a feeling the people that live in the Panhandle and going all the way across into Jacksonville, maybe Central Florida, those are probably most of the Republican voting people, and the Miami Cubans.
Cubans are a big one, and now the Venezuelans as well.
You know why the Miami Cubans are constantly voting?
Because they're against communism.
Because all they do is bitch and moan about Castro, and they don't realize that they were the Miami Cubans that had money that when they left.
Not all of them. I mean, a lot of them escaped later on. They didn't all come here rich.
Because I know a certain amount escaped during the revolution, and
even after that, a lot of them came over. It's not like immigration is not possible.
Well, I got news for them. You come over here, and you're poor. The Republicans are not going to give you a fucking thing when it comes to help. The Democrats are going to give you a lot of help.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? People, the human race, especially, it's not only Americans. The human race is not only inherently sinful, but inherently stupid. They often shoot themselves in both feet. Common sense should be taught in school, not just reading, writing, and arithmetic. Common sense. How to make wise decisions in your life.
Would you teach this course?
Yeah, not only that, I think that men and women should get domestic skill course in high school where they learn how to do basic stuff.
Well, look, they did. They used to do that. They used to have the homemaker course.
Home economics. You're right.
They don't do it anymore though.
Because it's frowned upon for a female. You think I should slip out now? I better close the show now. I got a headache. Trying to talk over him. Yeah, let me close the show now. How long have I been on it? Oh, it's been over 3 hours. Yikes! It's been over 3 hours. That's long enough. Yeah, fuck this.